So you can see here we're having two different UI screens, which is logged in with the two different user. One is logged in as Lisa, and another one is logged in as John Smith. All right. So I can able to chat with these two different users in the same room, like let's say YouTube testing or something. So let's say if I'm going to send a message like, "Hey there," all I have to do is to set the send option, so that will immediately send the response like what exact time I sent that message. And you can see here it's looking in a different perspective because we are the sender, and here it's looking in a different perspective because we are the receiver over there. All right, so this UI, it's completely adjustable. Even when you're opening your keyboard, this UI will completely adjust according to it. All right, so this is the live data synchronizations, which is done by using the Firestore. All right, so we're going to build this complete project completely from the ground. So let me show you what exactly that we do have on the profile screen. You can see we have this nice option over here where you can able to see the media chat and all the options. Basically, these are just the placeholders for the time being right now. Maybe in the future we can able to integrate these options also in this project. All right, so if I want to create a new room, a chat room, all I have to do is to go here and create a new chat room. Let's say hello YouTube or something just like that. So click the send option, so that will create a new chat room and that will be popped up on the first list. All right, so let's jump into the authentication screen. If I want to log it out, if I click logout option, and even once I logged out, if I'm opening this app, so let me reload it. So that will directly takes you to the login screen. But in this case, if I reload this particular app, so that will takes me to the home screen because that particular user is still authenticated, so he can able to access the chat rooms whatever we created, and he can able to chat with the different persons. All right, so every time whenever you're opening it, if you authenticated for very first time, so it will not show you the login screen for every time again and again and again. So if I click here, so that will enable me to create a new registration. So all I have to do is to click here to choose the profile screens. I can able to choose the different avatar for the user, whoever is going to register in our app. So let's say David Williams or something. Why not? Then let's say David at Gmail. So we are using the email pattern analyzations over here. If that the email whatever you're typing over there which is not matches that pattern, then it will raise that error. That means it's showing the different border color and you can't able to sign up with that register that user. So all I have to type the valid email. Then if I type the password over here like sample at 123, if I want to see the password whether I write it in a perfect like as I want it, then if I click this again, it will disable that option to see the password. So once I hit the sign up option, that will save this user directly in our Firestore collection, and it will authenticate that user as the signed in user because that's the user who registered, so it will automatically authenticate that user. So again, if I refresh the screen, it will directly takes us to the home screen where I can able to see all the available chat rooms. Okay, then I can immediately jump into there and I can say hi there or something. Click this, so that will send that message to that particular screen right there. Look at that, that's the new screen which I'll be created over there. Okay, so this is what exactly we're going to build by using the Expo CLI and the Firestore collections, and I hope you guys are so excited about this project. So without wasting your time, let's jump into the video. Before jumping into the video, you can able to download this starter template which I already configured the Tailwind CSS along with it. So all you have to do is to click the link in the description below and open this repository. Then there you can able to download this starter template. All right, so all you have to do is to go to this code and click this download zip option, so that will download the zip file and navigate it to your desired location and extract that file. In this case, I already downloaded it and I extracted that folder and changed the folder name, which having the necessary files and everything inside of it. All right, so let's go here and let me open this in the Visual Studio Code. So here we are right now. All right, so let me bring this to the left side and make sure I can see it completely. All right, so let me open here. You can see we have the assets files and we have the app.js file, and we have this tailwind config.js. So basically this is the starter template of which having a nice UI over here, just like a counter example. All right, so don't worry about this. We are just going to delete everything and we are going to rebuild it completely. So let me open this and let's fire this app, and let's say yawn. Hit the command yawn. So Dash will download all the necessary packages which is needed for this project. So it's downloading. So here we go, it's done. So all we have to say yawn start. So hit the command yawn start. So that will start the Metro bundler. So if you want to run this application, you need to install the Android and iOS simulator in your respective machines. In case if you don't have that much configured PC or laptop, all you have to do is to install this application from your Play Store or App Store. Just search for Expo Go in your Play Store or App Store, download it and install it in your mobile phone and scan this QR code. You can able to check the your project lively in your mobile phone itself. All right, so or if you want to run this project in your web, just type this keyword, so that will gives you the necessary packages needs to be downloaded to run your project in the web app, in your website, I mean in the browser. Okay, in this case I'm going to open the iOS. So that's starting my simulator and it's opening it up. It's for the initial build, of course it will take some time, so please wait until it's successfully downloaded all the necessary files and everything, and the build file, everything is completed properly, so please wait. So it's getting downloaded. It's need to download 100%. First time the initial build will always take some time, so we have to wait patiently. All right, so it's downloaded and you can able to see here it's having this nice counter where I can able to see all this usages and everything. That's looking good. All right, in this case I don't need any of this. All I have to do say Control A, delete it, and type RNFE, React Native Functional Export. Then I have to say class name, which is going to be Flex1 item center and justify center. So this will brings our app in the exact center location, which means our app.jsx, that means our tailwind css, which is working perfectly as it's supposed to be, right? You can see the configurations and the package.log tailwind config, everything is pre-configured and it's working perfectly as it's supposed to be. Cool, right? So then what we need to do, all we have to do is to fix our navigation router. So that what we are going to do next. So all we have to do is to search for React navigation, over there you can find this React navigation. So click this read docs. So before jumping into this documentations and the configurations and everything, take your time and go through this documentation completely, how the React navigation it's working with the Expo app and what are the necessary steps that we need to do configure. Please go through this documentation completely. In this case I'm going to use the yawn and I'm going to copy this, and let me jump into the video over here, create a new terminal, and I'm just going to paste it, yawn add React navigation at native. Then scroll down, click this yawn and do copy this same, both of these are same only, no issues. So let's copy this and paste it. Then let's get back to our next screen. So here we need to add this navigation stack because we are using the stack of layers. So we need to add the navigation stack, native stack. So then what we need to do, we need to use the native stack navigator. So to do that, all you have to do is to copy these two lines and paste it right after your React import. Then copy this and we need to create the stack layer. All right, so here now what I need to do is I need to import that navigation container first. So we need to get the navigation container. So let's delete all this stuff let's get that navigation container, stack container, or whatever it is, copy this, and let's paste it over here. So it's asking us to bring the home screen component, which we haven't created it yet. So in the root folder, I'm going to create two different folders called screens and one more folder called components. All right, in the screen folder, let's create a new file called home screen.jsx. I'm going to say RNFE, React Native Functional Export, save this changes and close this. And I'm going to create one more file over here called index.js, because I'm going to export it in a separate file. All the screens will be exported through this index.js. Default as I'm going to export it as a home from /home screen. So let's copy this. Let's make sure that we are exported in the same name, and let me paste it over here and here as well. Save these changes. So if everything is working fine, and it should bring our home screen. Here we go. So now we're having our home screen over there. So I don't need this screen options and everything. So what I'm going to do is, for the stack navigator, I'm just going to disable that screen options. Not screen listener, screen options. So by default, I'm just going to say header shown. It should not show the header, so false. So now you will not see that header shown option. All right, so it's loaded successfully. So initially what we are going to do is, we need to bring that where it is. 1 second, let me bring the screen in the other hand. Where it is. There we go. This is the one. Let me open it. All right, let me keep this over here. So you can see we have this registration screen, and you can able to see the UI completely, just exactly the same way we're gonna build that login screen also. So let's go ahead and bring that one. So what I'm going to do is, instead of home screen, I'm just going to delete this, or let's create a new screen over here. Login screen.jsx and RNFE, and here let's bring the registration or sign up screen. We can say sign up screen or something. Sign up screen.jsx, and that should be RNFE. Save the changes, and let's export these two things. Let me copy it and paste it a few more times. Let's change this as login screen, and let's change this as sign up screen, and let's copy this and replace this name, copy this and replace this name, save the changes. All right, so let's close this login screen and sign up screen, and let's jump to the home screen, sorry, app.js, and change these two login screen and change this to sign up screen, because initially once the user opening our application for the very first time, that should bring the login screen as a first screen. That's the reason I kept the login screen as the top of it. All right, so later we can replace the screen once the user is authenticated successfully, so don't worry about it. All right, so now let's go ahead and build the login screen and everything. So before that, you need to download the assets folder. So let's go ahead and download the assets folder. So click the link in the description below. You can able to find this images folder in that description. In that images folder, we have this logo and the icon and some BG icons and everything. So please go ahead and download this, and I'm just going to copy this, and inside the assets folder, I'm going to create a new folder called images, and let me bring that images over here. All those images, drop it inside that images folder, just like that. So then what we need to do is, inside this assets folder, I'm going to create a new folder called index.js. So you can able to find this index.js in that folder itself. So all you have to do is to copy that completely and paste it over here. So make sure that you are using the exact same folder name as images. All right. So save the changes. Now all the assets which we needed, which we have right now inside the assets folder. So let's jump into the login screen. So first, what we have to do is we have to design this UI, which is having this nice looking UI over there. So let's go ahead and design that for our login screen. All right. So let's bring this view first perfectly. So all I have to do is to, let's say, class name equals to flex1. Basically, you need to understand the flex property when it comes to React Native, and in React.js by default, for me, that means for a website, when you're using a flex by default, it's row. But when it comes to mobile app, by default, it is column. All right. So keep that in mind, and whenever you're working with the flexbox. So in this case, I need to bring it exactly in the center, and it should be always in the top of the layer. So save these changes. Now you can see the login screen in the top of the notch display. All right. So let me close this. So I'm going to bring the image tag. So let me import the image from the React Native. Make sure that you are using the React Native. So and please make sure that it's added successfully over there. Image, close the tag, and the source. And source is going to be the bg image, which is coming from our, okay, it's not showing, so let me import it manually. Import from / or / assets folder, and let's bring the bg image from there, and let's add that bg image over here. All right. So this resize mode, by default, the resize mode is going to be covered. It should cover the entire screen. Then class name, it's going to be height 96. I'm just going to fix the height. But the problem over here is I don't know what might be the screen size it is. So it should take the screen size always completely. So whatever the screen width is. To get the screen width, all you have to do is to use this dimensions properties. Use this dimensions properties. So here I'm just going to say const screen width equals to, using the math package, math.round package, I'm going to get the dimensions. From the dimensions, I'm going to use the get method to get the window width. So then I need to use that window width over here. So all I have to say, use the style property, open it, and open the object one more time, and give the width. Width is going to be the screen width. Save the changes. Now you can able to see that image over there. All right. So then what I need to do is, all I have to do is to create a view. So over here, this is the main view. Let's give a comment so that we can keep track it later. So let's bring the view over here. Wait a moment. Right, so let's type the view, open the view tag. So for this view tag, you can able to see here, see we're having this view which is having a slight rounded edge over there compared to other edges. So I need to add the rounded edge only on the top left corner. All right, so class name, so this is going to be width full, and height is also going to be width full, and the bg color is going to be white color. And so rounded top, so rounded top left corner, so rounded top left, it's going to be I'm going to use it as a 90 pixels as a rounded edge. All right, so save these changes. Now you can see that we do have this rounded edge over here, but I can't see this, so I'm just going to bring it a little bit bigger. So minus margin top as a 44. So now we can see able to see that over there. See, look at that. So then what we need to do is basically inside in this, it's everything, it should be flex item center, and justify it should be in the starting position. It should be in the starting, justify start. Let me enable the word wrap so that you can able to see it clearly. All right. So then what I need to do is, so padding py it's going to be 6. And px it's going to be 6. Save the changes, and the space between the each and every element in between the screens, it's going to be space y, that is also going to be 6. Save the changes. All right then. So first inside this, first I need to bring this logo over here. So let's bring the logo. So let's bring the image and let's give the source as, let's say, logo from the assets. Then I'm just going to give the class name, which is going to be width as 16, height as 16, and the resize mode is going to be contain. Save the changes so you can able to see that image over there. Then what I need to do is I need to bring the text over here. So let's bring the text. Let's add the class name, and the text is, which is going to be welcome back, because this is the login screen, so we need to say welcome back. Then for the text over here, I'm just going to say py2 padding top and bottom, and the text is going to be text. So we need to add the colors, configurations, and everything. So let's go here, let's go to the tailwind config.js. Inside this extend property, open the colors property, expand it. So you need to copy these 3 different color codes which we are using inside this project. So make sure that you written these 3 different color codes. Pause the video and type this color codes in your screens in the tailwind config. Save the changes, and let me jump back over here, and I'm going to say tail primary. Fail to save it. Save these changes, and now you can able to see that changes over here. Text primary. All right, so that's cool. So this is going to be a primary text, this one. Yes. So text size is going to be Excel, and font, of course, it's going to be the semi bold. Save the changes so that looks like that. Look at that, that's looking cool, right? So then what we need to do is we need to create a view, because we need to bring this options, right? Let's go ahead and create that and create a view. So inside this view, basically what we are going to do is, of course, it's going to take the complete width. So width is going to be full, and everything is going to be in the column direction. So item, everything should be in the center, and of course everything should be exact in the both vertical and horizontal in the center location. All right, so inside here I need to bring those fields. So for login, we need to have login email field, then we need to bring the password field, then we need to bring the login button, and of course we need to bring the alert message also, because if the user typed a wrong password or email, we need to bring the alert messages. So these are the things. So basically what we need to do is we need to keep that user component as a reusable component. This input component should be a reusable component. Then only we can use it on both the login screen and the sign up screen. So let's go ahead, and inside the components folder, let's create a new file called user input.jsx. user input.jsx, or we can say user text input. That is more important. User text input.jsx, and let's say rnfe, save changes. And inside the components folder, let's create a new file called index.js, because we need to export it. And inside this, I'm just going to say export default as from /user input. Copy this, paste it over here, save these changes. And now this login screen, inside this login screen, for this email field in this location, I'm going to bring that user text input, and basically it's been imported from the file directly. I don't want that. It should come from the components folder, so avoid that. Save these changes. Now you can able to see that user text input over there. All right, so basically this user text input is going to have the placeholder, the property called placeholder, what exact placeholder that we are going to display over there, which is going nothing but our email. Then we need to make sure whether this field is a password or not. If it is a password, we need to enable that security option, otherwise no. So basically is pass, that's a property that we are creating. If it is a pass, then we need to make sure that's highly secured, but this email is false, so we are supplying it as false because this is not a password field. Then what we need to do, we need to send the state value, because we need to get the value whatever the inputs which is given by the user. So let's go ahead and create a state. So use state, import it. I'm going to say email, set email. Initially it's going to be a string input. So here I'm just going to say set state value, which is nothing but the value which we created for this particular field. Let's say what is that, set email, not set email, email, that's a value which we created. Then set state function, which is nothing but the set email function which we created for that field. Save the changes. This is the field that we need to, these are the props that we need to supply to this user input. So let's copy this, user placeholder. So currently this is doesn't make any sense, but when you're completed this complete user input, you might the properties whatever which we created, that will make sense. So let's copy and destructure that complete properties over here. Copy it and paste it. So I just destructure all the properties which we created over there for this component. All right, save the changes. Cool. So let's go into the user text input.jsx. So over here, let's start customizing this complete inputs. All right, so let's go here. So you can able to see here we're having this icon. Basically we are having a division. Inside the division we're having three sub elements, which is nothing but an icon and an input box, and if it is a password we need to display one more icon, right? So let's go ahead and create that now. So to do that we need the icons. So let's go ahead and import that Expo icons or something. We can able to find this this one, npm. So you need to download that Expo icons. So copy this and open up your terminal, then just say yarn add Expo vector icons. Please download and install the yarn that Expo vector icon, because that is really needed for us. And you can able to see all the icons just by over here, the very first link, where you can able to see all the different icons supported by different frames, right? Like the material icons, font awesomes, you can able to choose whatever the icon you wish to use. All right, in this case I'm just going to leave it as it is, and I'm going to say class name, open it, and I'm going to use the dynamic string literals, because late afterwards we need to change the styles according to the value whatever we are passing in the prop. So let's enable the string literals over here. So this is just a backtick or a string literal. All right, so first what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the width, wait a second. All right, so over here I'm going to bring the border, and it is going to be rounded to XL, and px4, py6, flex, everything should be in the row direction, item center, and justify it in the between, and space in between these the two elements, it should be 4, and margin y in the both y axis, top and bottom, it should be 2. Then the border color is going to be border gray 200. Save these changes. So now we can able to see the border over there. Fine. All right, so then what we need to do is one second. All right, so let's bring the icon name over here. So material icons, I'm going to use the material icons. So currently for the time being, I'm just going to use this name exactly for the time being right now. I'm going to use this icon name. Let's say what icon name we can use for the time being, and let me fix this as a default one. Later I'll show you how to change it dynamically according to the field whatever we are sending it over there. Then the size of it is going to be 24. Then the color of it, it's going to be hash 6c 6d 6c 6d 83. Save the changes. So now you should be able to see the icon over there. Then what I need to do is I need to bring a text input. So text input, make sure that is imported from the React Native. All right, so here the class name is going to be flex1, and the text, it's going to be base color, and the text, it's going to be text color, it's going to be text primary text, and font semi bold, and -t1 margin. I'm just adjusting. These are just trial and error, so please make sure until you feel comfortable with the UI. And the placeholder is nothing but our property placeholder. Save the changes, and now you can able to see the complete email field over here. All right, which is looking much better. But we need to get the state, and I need to update that state value to the state function over here. All right, so to do that, what I need to do is, so I don't need to get that set state value over here, which is not necessary. So because I'm going to create a local state value over here, or let's leave it as it is. What should we do? Over here, right after here, I need to create a new state, use state, and I'm going to say the value, like state as value, set value, use state snippet value, set value. Initially it is going to be empty. So over here, I don't need this function property. Let's change this to set state email. I don't need that real value. I just need the function to update the state from this component. So I don't need the set state function. Delete this. Yes, that's what confusing me. All right, so here I'm just going to bring the value. For the value property, we are going to update the state which we created. And on change text, whenever the text is being changed, I'm just going to call this handle text changed, which we have to create over here. Const callback function, and to this I'm going to send the text which we are getting from there, and then I need to update that set value as a text. First I need to update the local component text, then I need to send this value to that parent component, which is nothing but set state value, and supply the value which we updated in this state. That's what we are doing over here. All right, save these changes. So now if you are typing something, you should able to see the changes. Sample. All right, so it's immediately updating that value, so we can able to get that value directly in our login screen. All right, so now I can able to see the email field. So in this case, if I want to see the password, so just like the same way, what I need to do is I need to bring the password field. So let's go here and create a new state, use state snippet, let's say password, Initially it's going to be empty, so I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to paste it. This is going to be password, and of course this time is going to be true. Save the changes, and now I can able to see the password. But the problem over here is I need to bring that icon, right? I need to bring that what is that icon. So basically I need to display that icon only if that is pass property. If it is true, I need to render that icon. So what I'm going to say, I'm going to bring the touchable opacity from React Native, make sure that is imported over there at the top. Then I need to bring this using this encrypto end typo icon. From there I'm going to get that that icon name. Let's say the icon name is going to be I, and the size of it is going to be 24, and the icon color is going to be exactly the same. Save the changes. Now we can able to see the I. But the problem is, what I need to do is once I click it, I need to change the icon name, the entire icon over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new state, use state snippet show pass. That means show password, so short form. By default, it's going to be false. We are going to keep it by default. Yes, by default we'll keep this show password as a true. All right, we'll keep that state as a true. So what I'm going to do is, if the user, if this is pass when it's coming it inside as a true, that means it's going to be a password field. So we are displaying this I. So if this show pass is going to be false, what we are going to do is we are going to change the I, the symbol over here. I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to make sure that the user can able to see the password. All right, so we'll see how to implement that. So over here, what I'm going to say is open it, use the dynamic string literal. If the show pass is true, then I need to display the I icon. Otherwise, I with line. All right, so now whenever I'm clicking this, so on press, whenever I'm clicking this, I'm just going to call a callback function. I'm just going to say set show pass as not show pass. Save the changes. Now if I click this, if it is true, it will become false. So you can able to see the icon changing in between that. All right, that touchable opacity, it's making that nice fade animations also, right? That's looking much better when you're, it gives you a real feel when you're tapping an icon in a mobile app. All right, so let's go here and configure this changes over here. So what I need to do is, the most important thing is, now if I'm typing something over here, I can able to see that text. So what I need to do is over here, I just need to say secure text entry. So this needs to be secured only if it is pass field. If it is pass field, then I need to say show pass. All right, by default, why the reason I kept it as a true, it's because by default when the user is typing something over here, he is not supposed to see something, right? So that's the reason we changed it. Now if I change this, you can able to see the password and you can able to see the icon, and if I click this, you can that will again, it will be went back to the hidden mode, right? So that's the reason we added it over there. All right, and every time whenever you start typing, you can see the very first letter is automatically coming in a capital letter. So we don't want that. So all we have to say auto capitalize none. Save the changes. Now when you delete it and if you start typing it something, it will not comes in the capital letter, but again it's coming in the capital letter. Why? Reload it. Let's reload it and let's check it out. Auto capitalize. Yeah, now it's not coming in the capital letter. All right, now the most important thing that we have to change over here is nothing but this icons. All these icons needs to be changed according to the field or according to the icon whatever I'm sending inside, right? So I need to change those icons according to the placeholders, whatever the placeholders I'm sending in. these things needs to be changed. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use layout effect. Use layout effect hook. Layout effect, open it. Just like the use effect, we are going to use the use layout, because when the layout is coming inside, we are going to make some changes in the states. So here I'm going to use the switch case, switch, open it. I'm going to send the placeholder as the expression inside. Then case, if the case is equals to. So if you have a look over here, we having one more field which is nothing but full name. If that is equals to full name, then if it is case is equals to full name, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to update the icon, right? So I'm going to create a new use state snippet. I'm just going to say icon, and initially the icon is going to be null. If it is a full name, then of course it's a person. So I'm just going to say set icon as person, and of course we need to return it, otherwise it will execute the another case also. If it is not, then I'm going to check the if it is equals to email, then we need to return the icon as set icon as email. If it is equals to password, that means it is a password field, then we need to return the set icon as a lock symbol. All right, so I need to display the icon over here, and let's bring that icon, save the changes. Now you can see the icons will update it according to the placeholders whatever we are sending it inside. Perfect. So then what we need to do is, all we have to do is to bring that option, the button. Let's go back to the login and let's bring it over here. Let me bring the touchable opacity, and inside this touchable opacity, what we need to do, we need to bring a text component, and I'm going to say sign in. And for this touchable opacity, the class name, which is the styles, it's going to be, of course it's going to take the complete width, so width is going to be 4, and px it's going to be 4, and py it's going to be 2, and rounded it's going to be XL, and the background color it's going to be the primary color, and from the margin top I'm going to make it 3, in the both X and Y axis, and it's going to be flex, item center, and justify center, because inside that everything should be in the center, so you can able to see this over here. Then for this text property, padding py is going to be 2, text it's going to be white color, and text size is going to be XL, and font it's going to be the semi bold. Save these changes. Now we can able to see the nice sign in button over there. And then next what I need to do is I need to bring that what is that create. If you don't have an account, click here to create the text like this. I need to bring that text over there. So to do that, right after that, over here I'm going to create a view. Inside this view I'm going to bring a text. Let's say don't have an account, have an account. Then I'm going to bring the touchable opacity, and inside the touchable opacity I'm going to bring a text. Inside here I'm going to say create here. Save the changes. Now you can able to see that text. So let's go ahead and customize this. Class name equals to, all right, of course it's going to take the complete width, padding top and bottom 12, and flex it's going to be row direction. Then items, everything should be in the center, and justify it's going to be in the center, and space X it's going to be 2. Save the changes. Now everything will be in the center. All right, so then what we need to do is, so we just need to customize the look and feel of these text. So I'm just going to add it, text base and text primary text for this. And for the next one, I'm going to add these text base font semi bold, and I'm going to add the text primary bold. Save the changes, and now it looks like that. All right, so whenever I click this option, I need to take the user to the sign up screen. So let's go ahead and create that navigation object. Const navigation equals to use navigation hook, which is provided by your React navigation. So then on whenever I'm clicking this on press, I need to call a callback function, and I need to say navigation dot navigate the user to the sign up screen. Let's copy this and let's paste it over there, save the changes. All right, so now if you click this, that will take you to the sign up screen, but which we don't have anything in that sign up screen. So basically I'm just going to copy this completely, and I'm going to paste it inside the sign up screen, replace it completely, and I'm going to bring these fields over there also, because of course we need all these things. Paste it, and of course we need these import statements too. Save the changes. So now you can able to see the sign up screen. So let's go ahead and make some changes over here. So the most important changes that we need to update over here, which is nothing but the very first thing is in the top, that you need to change some of the logo, which is fine, totally fine, and the text is going to be join with us. Say the changes, join with us. So then what is that? We need to bring this full name option. So let's go ahead and copy this, and I'm going to bring that instead of this alert section, I need to bring this full name section over here, and this is going to be full name is pass, it's going to be false, and we need to update this state. So let me create one more state over here, use state snippet, that is for full name, right? So what we need to do is, let's get the name state, and let's use that name over here, set name, save this changes. All right, so now we have that full name property, which is applied perfectly over there. Email and password, everything is going to be the same, but this time instead of sign in, I'm going to display the sign up, and instead of don't have an account, I'm just going to say have an account. If you have an account, then sign in or login here, login here, save the changes, and instead of sign up screen, I just need to navigate the user to the login screen. So now if I tap this, that will take the user to login. If I tap this, that will take the user to sign in. So there is only one more thing is missing, which is nothing but the avatar image over here. So let's go that and fix that avatar section. So what I need to do is, first I need to bring that avatar section. So that is supposed to be right after this text option over here. This is the avatar section. So over here, I'm going to create a view. Wait a minute. So this view, which is basically going to take the complete width. So width is going to be full, and flex and item center, and justify everything in the center location, and the position is going to be the relative position, and the top and bottom my, it's going to be 4 or something. Inside here, I'm going to bring the touchable opacity, and Okay, so here now what I need to do is I need to bring a small circle with the border of that, like that. So class name, oops, class name, which is width is going to be 20, height is going to be 20, and padding P1, rounded it's going to be full, and border it's going to be 2, and border it's going to be primary and relative position. And inside this touchable opacity, so I need to bring an image source, open it, URI. Inside here I'm going to bring that URI link which I need to display. So class name it's going to be, width is going to be full, height is going to be full, and the resize mode is going to be contain. So what I need to do is, so basically I'm going to bring the list of names, so you can copy that code directly from the link in the description below. So let me create a new folder over here in the root directory called utils. Inside that utils I'm going to create a new file called supports.js, and I'm going to paste all these links, avatars and everything. All right, so basically these are nothing but the list of avatars. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the avatars inside over there. So save these changes and let's go back to the sign up screen. So what I need to do is I need to get the avatar. So what I'm going to do is over here, I'm going to create a new state. Let's say use state snippet, and let's say avatar. Initially the avatar is going to be the very first index, which is nothing but the very first index from this array. So let's go here and let's bring the avatars from the utils. So from the avatars, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the 0th index. In that index you can see we have this image property. Inside that image we have the asset, inside that we have the URL. So I'm going to get that image dot URL, asset dot URL. So that is going to be the avatar. So I'm going to set that over here, avatar. So if I save these changes, you can able to see this option over there. Right now I'm wondering why I am getting that background oops, not BG primary, border primary. Yes, that's the reason. Yep, now you can see we can able to see that avatar image. So now what I need to do is inside this image, which after displaying it, what I need to do, I need to bring one more view, class name, which is width is going to be 6, height is going to be 6, and BG it's going to be primary, and around it of course it's going to be full, and it's going to be absolute position. From the top it's going to be 0, and right it's going to be 0, and flex everything inside it's going to be the center. All right, inside here I'm going to bring an icon, which is nothing but a pencil icon. Make sure this is imported, save the changes, and now you can able to see the pencil icon. So whenever I'm tapping this, I need to bring the list of avatars where I can able to see it. All right, so let's go ahead and do that stuff right now. All right, so I'm going to bring that avatar top of this complete section. So that is need to be updated right after here. This is the place where we are bringing this section. So I need to bring it right after here. So what I'm going to do it over here is, let me bring a React fragments. Inside this React fragments, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this list of avatars section. All right, so then inside here I'm going to create a view. So basically that view is going to take the complete width and height. So absolute position, of course, so it's going to take the complete width and height. So let's use the insert, and of course always it's going to be top of the layer, and bg it's going to be red color. So for the time being, wait a minute. All right, so now we can able to see that, you can see that it's occupying the complete width and height, right? So it's working perfectly, so we don't need this all these stuffs and everything. Let this, and then inside here, so instead of using the width, we can use it. Otherwise you can directly use that screen width and screen height. You can read the dimensions and the height and directly by using the dimensions property which we created over here. You can use that also. Better approach is read the screen height and width and use it instead of using width full and height full. Sometimes it might not work. It's better to apply it hardcore by using the style attribute. Width is going to be screen width, not screen height, screen width, and then height it's going to be the screen height. Save the changes. If you are applying the background color right now, you can able to still get that same result, right? So this is the best approach. All right, save the changes. Now it's fine. Now what I need to do is I need to I'm going to display a list of avatars. Sometimes it might go beyond the screen size. So let's enable the scroll view from the React Native. Inside the scroll view, I'm going to bring the blur view. Basically, I need to blur the screen, whatever I'm having over here. Otherwise, we need to display it in a different color. Instead of that, I'm going to use this Expo blur view. So let's bring that Expo blur view. So to bring it, what you need to do is you need to add this Expo blur. So let me copy this and let me open up our terminal, and let's say yarn add Expo blur. So this will add that Expo blur in your project. So then what I can do, I can bring that blur view over here. So let's say blur view, make sure that is imported properly, and inside here I'm going to bring the class name, and this is going to be width full and height full, and px it's going to be 4, and py it's going to be 16, and flex it's going to be in a row direction, and flex everything should be a wrap, and everything should be in the item center, and justify everything should be in the evenly direction. Then inside here, inside this blur view, I'm just going to say tint the what kind of color for that blur view you need, light color. Then intensity of that blur view it's going to be 40. All right, let's say this changes. You can able to see that over there. So let me bring that icon inside. Let me copy this and let's give this over here. Now you can see it's completely taking that complete width and height of the screen. You can able to see that that tint effect over there, right? So then what I need to do is inside here I need to bring the list of avatars. So according to the avatars, if I have the avatars dot map, of course we have that because it's loading from the local, right? So avatars, it's loading from the local. I'm going to use the map functions to get the each and every items one by one from it. Then I'm going to render it. Make sure that you're using the normal brackets, not the curly brackets. So then touchable opacity. That's inside here. I'm going to bring the image source URI. Inside here, I need to bring the item dot image dot asset dot URL. Then of course it's going to take the width and height of the complete parent. All right, so for this touchable opacity, I'm going to bring the class name completely like this: width, height, margin, padding, and rounded full, and border radius, and the positions and everything. And of course we need to use the key prop, otherwise it will throws an error. So I'm going to use the item underscore id as a key prop, save these changes, and now we can able to see all the avatars over here looking good. So then what I need to do, whenever I'm pressing, I'm just going to say on press handle avatar. Okay, whenever I'm pressing this, I need to send that along with that item. I'm going to send that item along with it. Then I'm going to create that method over here, and I'm going to get that item over here, open it. So what I need to do is, whenever I'm clicking this, all I need to say set avatar as item. From the item we are going to get the image and everything, right? So let's copy this completely, this line from here, and let's paste it over here, just like that. Save these changes. Now whenever I'm clicking this avatar image will get updated, but we don't want to display this stuff every single time, right? So to display and to make it enable and disable, we need to monitor one more state. So let's go here, bring one more state, use state snippet. Let's say is avatar or something, avatar menu. Let's keep it in that way. By default it's going to be false. So what we need to do is, whenever I click that edit option, the place where we are bringing that over here, this is the place. So on click, sorry, on press, whenever I'm pressing it, what I need to do is I need to say set is avatar menu as true, save the changes, and once handle the avatar, here I'm just going to say set is avatar menu as false, because we set that image. So first let's set it up, then we make it false. So now if I click this, it's not working. The reason it's not working because this complete stuff, this react fragments, this complete stuff, it's supposed to be inside is avatar menu. Only if it is true, then we need to render that fragment. Save the changes. Now when I click this, it will opens up, and if I choose this, it will be disappeared. So we successfully finished the sign up screen as well as the login screen. Then all we have to do is to check the email pattern. So because we need to make sure that email pattern it's working perfectly as it's supposed to be, right? Because otherwise it will, if it is not working properly, we need to update that status. So that what we need to go and do next. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's jump into the login screen. So the place where we are sending this email, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to validate that email. So what we need to do is to monitor that, I'm going to create one more status, one more state. Let's say use state, let's say get email validation status or something, like a very big name. Cool. So by default it is going to be false. All right, so then what we need to do is just give me a minute. I think I missed something. So what we need to do is Where did I missed it? I missed something. We created that state and we need to parse that state only for the email field. So all I have to say is set get email validation stated, and I'm going to send that exact same thing, and I'm going to copy this, save these changes, copy this line and add it up for your sign up page for your email field also. This is the place where we are adding it, paste it, and let's bring that state completely, and let's add it up over here, save these changes. Now we don't have any errors, but the state needs to be updated in our user input.jsx. Let's go to the components folder, go here, and let's bring that what's that property that we created, this one, copy this and let's bring it over here. It's a property. Now what we need to do is over here I need to validate that the email, right? So whenever the state is getting changed, so this is the place, this whenever the input is getting updated, this is the function it's being triggered. So here, if the placeholder is equals to email, then I need to check this. Otherwise, I don't need to check this. If the placeholder is email, then I need to check this regular expression. I need to check this regular expression over here. This is the regular expression that I need to follow. This is the pattern. If it is valid, then I just need to say console.log status. Open it. Over here you can see here. Now if I'm typing something, you can see it's giving false because sample@gmail, of course it's false, but once I return it in the sample@gmail.com, it's giving the value as true, right? Because it's a valid email. So the status is working perfectly as it's supposed to be. Let's delete that status and let's say I'm going to create a one more state over here, because whenever this is wrong I need to change the color, right? So I'm just going to say use state snippet is email valid. This email is valid by default. What I need to do by default, it is going to be false field only, because I need to display only if it is if that value is false, if the value is true. So here I'm just going to say set is email valid. I'm going to update the status value, then set get email status as the status value. Whatever the status I'm getting, whether it is true or false, I need to update it. And according to that, I need to change this text color, border color over here instead of this. So what I need to do is I need to check a field. What I'm going to say is let's open it. If not is email is valid and the placeholder should be equals to email, then only, and the value of the value field, if the value length is greater than 0, if the value length is greater than 0, then only I need to display the border color as red color, red 500. Otherwise I need to display this border color. Save these changes. Now you can see, because the value of the value length is 0 and by default it is true, the is email field is true, not email. If it is true, then we don't need to display it over here. All right, so here, because it is exactly applying the quite opposite way over here, because by default the status we are getting is false. If it is true only, that means I'm sorry, I'm confusing you a lot. Just try to understand over here. If it is true, why we are getting this message as true? Because that email is valid. That's the reason we are getting the value as true. So I'm updating that particular status for our email field. That means if it is true means your email is valid. If it is false means your email is not valid. So that's the reason I'm checking not. If you are receiving true, that means you are right, you written a valid email, so I don't need to display it in a red color. Then That's the reason I'm checking it as not. If you're receiving it as a true, check it as a false. If you're receiving it as a false, take it as a true. All right, that's what we are making it over here. Now you can see if I type something, it's changed because the length of that email is not greater than 0, and at the same time the email field is not matches the pattern. I need to type the exact same pattern which is matches that pattern whatever we are trying to check over here in this regular expression. Then the border color will change. So now in the sign up screen it's working perfectly. Let's go ahead and check in the login screen also. So here also that is working perfectly. Look at that. So now we successfully validated that emails or user can be restricted to type the exact same pattern which matches that pattern. So I can use this email status before submitting or signing up or logging up. If the status is not getting the exact match value what I'm looking for, I'm not supposed to log in or sign up, whatever it is. If this is true, that means the user is validated perfectly. Then only I need to start registering or start login. Otherwise, I just need to check. I need to throw an alert message over there. All right. So this is cool, and we finally finished. The next important thing that we need to go and do it, that is the Firebase configuration. So we need to jump into the Firebase project and we need to configure it inside our application. So let's go ahead and create that and configure it in our application. All right then, so let's open up our browser and search for firebase.google.com. So over here, all we need to do is to create a new project. So click this go to console. And over here, I'm going to create a new project. And let's say this as YouTube chat application. All right, so click continue. I'm going to disable the Google Analytics and create a new project. So this might take a while. So we need to enable the Firestore collections because that's the place where we are going to store all the details and everything in that project. All right, so and we are going to use the email and password authentication. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so my project is successfully created. So let's click continue. So that will take us to the project dashboard. All right, so in this case, what we need to do is we need to create an app. So basically, we are going to create a web app itself, not for specific platform, either iOS or Android, because we are using a cross-platform application. It's better to create a web app. So I'm just going to create a web app over here, and let's say chat app or something, and click register app. So far, we don't need to worry about the Firebase hosting, so let's leave it in that way. So I'm just going to create this app. All right, so we need to install this Firebase package in our application, and this is our API keys and everything. All right, so let me close this and let me jump into the build navigation and go to the authentication. So you need to enable the authentication. Click get started. And here we are going to enable the email and password. Enable this. We don't need email link, so click save. So that will enable this authentication provider. And let's get back to the Firestore database. Over here, click create database. In this case, I'm just going to keep it in the production mode itself, but you need to update your security rules if you're working for a real-time project. In this case, I'm just going to leave the security rules not that much tight. Later, we'll discuss about the security rules and everything in a separate video briefly. So click this production mode and leave it as it is, or choose your nearby location. And in this case, I'm just going to leave it as it is and enable it. So this will take a few seconds, not more than a minute. So it's setting up the security rules. All right, so it's done over here. So let's get into the rules first. So by default, the permissions and everything, it's blocked because it says over here as a false. So I'm just going to change this to true. Then it will give us the permissions to read or write or whatever the documents that we are up to create over here. All right, so everything is done and we enable the authentications and everything. So now all we have to do is to create the registrations and sign up and sign in and sign up on options and everything. So for the screen work, everything is done. We need to move into the main work. That's what we are going to do. So before that, let's click over here and jump into the documentation, so the where we can able to see the complete documentations of authentication. So click this build and choose this authentication. So here go to the web, and we are going to use this password authentication. So that will gives you the way how to authenticate yourself, like using create with user with email and password, and how to sign in with email and password. So that's what we are going to use over here, right? So let's get back here and let's jump into the sign up screen. So this is the place where we are going to do that options and everything. So I think my PC it's lagging a bit. All right, then so now what we need to do is we are inside the sign up screen. So from here, first we need to create a configuration folder. So all I have to do is to create a configuration folder in the root directory. So let me create a new folder called config. Inside this config folder, I'm going to create a new file called firebase.config.js. So inside this firebase.config.js, so we have to bring all the configurations, informations and everything. So let's go ahead and copy those informations from your project settings. Click the project settings, and that will take you to the project settings, so where you can able to copy this. So let me copy this, and before that we need to install this Firebase. So let me paste it over here. PC is hanging so much. Why? I don't know why. The memory pressure is too high over here. It's fine. So we added that. So let's open up the terminal and let's add this package. So yarn add Firebase. This is the package that we need to add. So let's download this. So let it download. So I think it's downloading. Take some time to download. So now the package is downloaded successfully. So it's asking me to reload this app. So let me reload it. It's reloading. All right, so now it's working smoothly as it's supposed to be. So here from the Firebase, so what we need to do import is we need to import several packages. So first let's import those things. So from Firebase, all we have to do is to import. So first we need to get the applications information. So let's say Firebase app. From the app folder, I'm going to import the get apps, get app, get apps, and initialize app. And then we need to import from, we need to get the authentication information. So then only we can read the enabled authentication provider. So Firebase/auth information. So over here we need to get that get auth information, and of course we are going to access the Firestore database, so we need to get the Firestore package as well. So from Firebase/Firestore, this one. All right, so to get the Firestore informations, we need to get the Firestore, save these changes, and all I have to do is to create the application. So const app is equals to get apps dot length. If the length is greater than 0, then get that app information. That means if the app is already created, they get that app information, or else initialize the new app using this Firebase config. Cool. So then what we need to do, so I'm going to export the authentication. So I'm just say Firebase auth and get that auth information from the app which we created. And then we need to get the Firestore database as well. So const Firestore DB, and using the get Firestore method, I'm going to supply the app. Then we'll get that Firestore instance. Then all I need to do is to export these things. Export app, Firebase auth, and Firestore DB. All these things. We need to export all these things. So save these changes. Now everything will be exported. right? So then what we need to do, let's jump into the sign up screen, and this is the place where we are getting the states of email and the password and the full name. We'll get the complete information which we needed, and we have the avatar. Every time whenever user it's changing the avatar, that gives us the avatar as well, the URL. So we need to create this user by using the create email and authentication. All right, so then once we authenticated, the email will be automatically comes under this users folder over here inside this users. So from here we need to push it to our database. That's what we are going to do now. So to do it, what you have to do is, all you have to do is to create a function. So where it is, this is the place where we are signing up. On press, whenever I'm pressing it, what happened? On press, I'm going to call handle sign up method. So that will throw an error because the handle sign up it's not there. So we need to go and create that. So no issues. So let's go ahead and create that const handle sign up. And this is supposed to be an asynchronous method. This needs to wait until the action is successfully completed. All right. So over here, I need to make sure the status of the email is validated. Only if that email status is validated, then only we are supposed to create that user, right? So if I'm going to get that email status, if that, and we do have that email, if that is equals, if the email is not equals to empty, all right, the status should be validated, and as well as the email should not be equals to empty. If it is so, we need to create the new user. So I'm just going to say await, and basically what we need to do is we are going to use this create user with email and password. This is the package which is coming from Firebase Auth, and make sure it is imported properly. Then inside this function you need to supply your authentication object, so that's which is coming from your Firebase Auth, which we exported from our firebase.config.js over here. Then I need to supply the email field. Then I need to supply the password field. If it says so, then if it is everything is perfectly, then we'll get the promise, and that is nothing but our user credential. If we get this user credential, that means our data is successfully created. So all I'm going to do is to console.log that user cred dot provide user object. All I'm going to do right now is just do the console log. So let's go ahead and create that option. So it's refreshing right now. It's still refreshing. Why? Let me reload the application. All right, so let's create the sign up here, and the full name, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the full name as my name itself, Vetrivel Ravi. Then the email is going to be vetri@gmail.com, and the password is going to be admin@123. So if I click the sign up, so that will create that user, and it's showing us an error, Firebase error, auth missing the password field. It's saying missing a password field. Why? Maybe we made a mistake. Okay, so here instead of sending the password state function, I sent the email, so the email state get replaced. So that's the reason. So here I'm just going to send set password, save it. So now if we see everything is perfect, so now if we click sign up, this should work perfectly. Okay, it's showing invalid email because the state gets updated, right? So we need to reload this application. Let's type it one more time. Let's go here, create, and let's type it one more time. Ravi, and I'm just going to say admin@gmail.com and admin@123. That will be our password. Let's see it. Okay, so now if we hit the sign up, this should create the user, and you can see it's providing the provider's data, complete information, the email and the JSON web token, everything is created. That means we should have our user over here. Here we go. So now our user is saved successfully over here. Now what we have to do is basically using this data, all I have to do is to push this data into our Firestore database. So that's what we are going to do now. So this is the place where we are getting our data object. So I know I'm getting my data object right now. So I need to create a document over here. Const data equals to, it's an object. So basically underscore ID for the document is going to from the user credential. I do have this user object. Inside that user object, I do have this UID. So I'm going to use that UID as the data object. Okay, so then what I need to do is I'm going to send the full name. That's the property which we are creating, which is nothing but our name, state. Then profile pic, I'm going to use the profile pic. So basically the profile pic is nothing but our avatar which we choose over here, which is coming from our avatar over here, this state. Yes, that's the place where we are initially setting the URL. So let's choose that avatar state. Then we need to supply the complete informations of these. So I'm going to supply the provider data, and I'm going to send the complete provider data which we get from the user credential. So user dot provider data. So basically inside the provider data you have an array. So that is, we need to get the 0th index of it, and I need to send it. So now I do have the data which we needed. So all I need to do is I need to update this to our Firestore collections. To update this to your Firestore collection, you need to say set doc. So basically the set doc which is coming from your Firestore. Here we go. So that is imported properly. Then I need to give the document reference. So I'm going to use the doc that is also coming from your Firestore reference over here. So that's imported properly. So I need to send our Firestore database object which we created from our Firestore configuration. Then now we have the Firestore database reference. Then I need to give the document collection name, that is nothing but our users. So then I need to supply the ID. So for that particular document, we need to give the unique ID reference whenever you're using the doc or set doc method. If you're using add doc method, basically you can add a data into your Firestore. If you're searching for doc for build, go to the build, and from there you can able to see this real-time database. Now not this one, where it is, build Firestore. So from the Firestore, if you want to add a new data, so add and manage, if you click the add data, so over there you can able to find out that it have two different sets of method. You have the set doc, and you have one more method called add doc also, where it is set doc. Here it is, add doc also. So the reason why we have two different things is, if you are using the set doc method, you need to specify the ID. See, you need to specify the meaningful ID. If you are using add doc will create the ID reference by itself. All right, in this case I'm using the set doc, so I need to specify the ID, and that ID is going to be the user credential ID which is created by the Firestore itself. All right, so I'm going to supply that over here. Then after this doc reference, now this is our document reference. Now I need to send the data to it. So the data object, which is nothing but which we created over here, this is the data, we have to send it through it. So if everything is done perfectly, this will return a promise. So we need to handle that promise. So then I'm going to call a callback function, open it. So if everything is working smoothly as it's supposed to be, I'm just going to navigate this user. So navigate this user to the login screen. So let's jump into the app.js, copy this and go to the sign up screen and paste it over here. So this will be if everything is working as it's supposed to be, this will navigate this user completely to the login screen. All right, so let's check it out one more time. let's go here and I'm going to delete this user, delete this account, delete it, refresh. Now we don't have any users, and let's go to the Firestore database. So far everything is empty. So if this is successfully created, let me sign up, and it's created and it's successfully navigated to the login screen. And if you come over here, refresh this, we don't get any error over there. That means the user object is created and the data ID is also created. You can see the full name, and we can see the profile picture URL, and we can see this complete provider data which is provided by the Firebase authentication. That means the user is authenticated successfully. So we have our Firestore collection over here. So now we have our data. So the registration page is successfully done. So then what we have to do, we have to jump back to the login screen. So let's go to the login screen and let's make sure that user it's login authenticated perfectly. All right, so here exactly the same thing. I think I made a same mistake for the password. So let's go and find the password field and change this to set password. Otherwise the email will get overwritten by the using this password input. All right, so now we fix that issue. So let's go here, and all I have to do is to find out the sign in button. So for this I'm just going to say on press. I'm just going to say handle login. So this method is not yet created. So let's go here and let's create that method. Const handle login is equals to, and this is going to be an asynchronous method. All right, so now we have the login screen. So just like the same thing, what we have to do, we need to check this if condition. Let me copy this if condition from here and put it over here, open it. Cool. So now we have that. So then what I need to do, I need to say await sign in with email and password. This is the object that we need to import from the Firebase auth. So sign in with email and password, open it. Then we need to supply our authentication. Cool. Then we need to supply our email. Then we need to supply our password. If everything is perfectly done, then it will return a promise, which we get the user credential from there. Open it. So I need to check. So what I'm going to do is, if I do have this user credential, that means the data it's validated properly. Then all I have to do is to console.log. If everything is perfectly logged in, I need to get the user ID, because using that user ID, I need to collect this document, because this is the information which we needed, not that not this information alone, which is provided by your Firebase auth. So I'm going to get the user ID from the user credential. We do have this user object. Inside that you do have this UID, because using this ID only we created that document. So I need to get that. So let's go ahead and do the console log first. So what is the email ID which we created? admin@gmail.com. So here admin@gmail.com, and we need to say admin@123. So now if I click sign in, you can see that's giving us the user ID over here. We are getting the user ID. I hope you can see this. Let me make it a little bit bigger. All right, so now you can see this. Let me fix this. Okay, so now you can able to see this, the user ID. Okay, so now we have this user ID. Using this user ID, we need to fetch the information from the Firestore collection. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to say get. Let me console log this. Let's leave it as it is. Get doc. We need to use the get doc method, because if you want to read the data from the user, just go through this documentation from here, read data, and choose the get data. So that will gives you that information. So how exactly you need to use this get doc method to read the data from the Firestore. All right, so this is the example to set, and this is the place where you are getting the document. Okay, so let's go here. So using the get doc method, I'm going to supply the document reference, and first thing you need to supply the Firestore DB, because that is our database reference. Then I'm going to use the users object, which should be exactly same as this collection name. So let's copy and paste it to avoid the unwanted mistakes. Then I need to supply the ID, which we do have over here. Let's apply it. Then what we need to do is that is going to return a promise. That means the get doc method is going to return a promise over here. So let's say dot then open it. So this will gives us the document snap. So this will gives us the snap record. So let's get this doc snap. So you can see this is what we are getting over here. We need to make sure whether the document is exist or not. If it is exist, then we need to get the document data. Otherwise the document is not there. All right, so we are getting the doc snap. Open it. If that doc snap dot exist, that means the data is exist, the record is found, then all we have to do is to console.log user data colon, let's say doc snap dot data object. We'll get the data object. So save these changes. So let's sign in again. Here we go. So we are getting that complete user information. So this is the information that we need to push it into the Redux. So basically we need to configure the Redux. So before jumping into that conclusion, so what we have to do is we need to give the alert message. What happens if the user type the invalid username and invalid password? So let's fix that issue. So this is the place where we are getting the then object, that means the promise. And here I need to catch if there is any error. In case if there is any error, open it. So what I need to do is, all I have to do is to do console.log let's say error colon, here from the error we'll get the message. So basically you can get that message from here, where it is, because here they will give you the error object also when you're trying to fetch. Somewhere over here they will give you the error object also. I missed it. Where it is? Okay, so nothing but this is nothing. This is the one error dot message. You will get the error dot message object. So let's say if I'm typing a wrong password over here, so you know the password is wrong because admin at 123 is the password. So I'm typing the wrong password right now, and you can see we are getting that error message as auth wrong password. So what I need to do is right after here, all I have to do is to set the alert message. So I'm going to say where it is. So we need to bring the alert message, right? So to bring the alert section, so I already create the alert section over here. This is the place. So let's bring the alert component first. Text, it's going to be, for the time being, I'm just going to say error over here because we need to make sure whether it is working fine or not. So class name, it's going to be, so width, of course it's going to take the width, full width. Then no, not necessary. The text size is going to be the base size. Then text color is going to be red 600. So save these changes. So you will get that. Why we are getting it like this? Not sure. Let's reload this. Okay, so now we can see we are getting that error message over here, but this is not supposed to be displayed like that way. So what I need to do is I'm just going to create two different states. One is to display the alert and another one is to update the alert message over there. So let's create the two different states over here. Use state snippets. So first is going to be alert. By default the alert is going to be the false, and then use state snippet alert message, and this is going to be empty string, or we can keep it as a null because initially it's going to be a null only. So what we can do is this alert is needs to be displayed only if there is any alert, then only I need to display that. And over here, instead of this error message, I need to display the alert message. Save these changes. Now it will not be displayed over there. So then what I need to do is this is the place where we are getting that error message. So all I have to make sure, so you can see what the error message we are getting. So if whenever the user typing, if that error message include this wrong password, that means user entered a wrong password. If apart from this, if the user getting any other error, that means the email is wrong. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fix this two error. I'm not going to much deeper into the error section, so you can do the console log and you can play with this error messages and everything. For the time being over here, I'm just going to check if that error dot message object dot includes. This is the method that you need to use, includes. This will helps you to check whether it's having that method or not. So includes error that, so this will help you to compare that string. Okay, includes. If it have this wrong password, I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to paste it over here. Wrong password. If it includes that wrong password, that means we need to set the alert message. So set alert as true, then set alert message as like password mismatch, something like this. Else all we have to do, get the same thing, paste it over here, and here I'm just going to say invalid email address, something like that. So once everything is done, after here, using the set interval, right after 2 seconds, I need to remove that warning message. So set alert, which is going to be false again. Save these changes. So now if I am typing something, let's say sample@gmail.com. So here I'm just going to say admin@123. So we know that this address is not found. So we know that because this user data is not exist. So here over here, this user data is not exist. So if it is not exist, then also we need to say set alert and user not found. And right after this set an interval, we need to remove that alert message. Save these changes. So now if I hit this enter, you can see it's showing as the invalid email address because it will jump in directly into this over here. But what is the thing we are getting? We are getting the user not found error. So instead of checking that error over here, instead of this in this else block, instead of checking that error in this else block, it's better to check it over here. So what I'm going to do is from here, I'm just going to cut this completely, because if the document does not exist, it's directly jumping into the catch block, because that error happened, so it's jumping into the catch blocks. That's the reason we are not getting that error over there. So we can simply paste it over here. This is going to be else if it is this error message is equals to, copy and paste it. If that error message is equals to this user not found, then we don't need this set interval because we already removed it globally outside. So if the user is not found, then it's going to be user not found. If the email address is not valid, then it's going to be email is not valid, then it is password mismatch. Okay, so now if I click sign in, it's going user not found. And let me delete this completely, and I'm just going to change this to admin@gmail.com. Password is going to be something extra, and if I click this, password mismatch error is working perfectly. Let me update it, and if I'm typing an invalid user address, that's going to say why it's going to say again the same thing, 123 admin@123, sign in. So now we are getting that user data over here. So the error message what we got over here, everything is, it's working perfectly as it's supposed to be, right? It's cool. This is working perfectly fine. Okay, so now we got this data. So with this data, what I need to do is I need to send this data into the Redux store, so I can able to use this data anywhere at any time we needed it. So all we have to do is to add the Redux. So let's go ahead and add the Redux package. So let's say on add Redux, React-Redux, enter. So that will add these two different packages. So now next what we need to do is, let's go ahead and create the context folder. Create a new context folder in the root directory, right click and create a new folder called context. Wait a second, why it's not typing anything. New folder, context. All right, so now we have the context folder. Inside this context folder, now what I need to do is, I have to create the actions and I need to create the reducers and I need to create the store. That's what we need to do now. All right, so let's go ahead and create those context actions and everything. So let's create this new folder over here and name that folder as actions. Name that new folder as actions and name that new folder again as reducers. And inside the reducers, so what I need to do, I need to have one more file called index.js. So basically this, inside this index.js only, we are going to combine all the reducers together, because for a real-time project you're not going to have only one reducer for one action. So we might have a different reducers. So I need to combine all those reducers together. So then inside this context folder, I'm going to create the store.js. All right, so let's jump into the actions first. So we need 3 sets of actions, right? Or at least we need 2 different sets of actions. One is to set the user and another one is to set the user object as null. So let's create that user object over here. So in this case, I'm just going to copy and paste it to avoid the timing. So you guys just pause the video and write this function over here, or you can find this link in the description below, the GitHub link of this project. So you can copy this code and paste it over here. So not in the stores.js, you need to paste this inside the actions. So let's create the actions first. I'm sorry. So let's create the user actions.js. User actions.js. Inside the user actions, paste that code. So we have 2 different actions over here. One is set user, another one is set user null. So the function basically is returning an object which is nothing but type and user. We have this user data which we are sending it from the client side, and we are sending it to the null object. This is the action that we need to save. So save it and close this user action. We don't need that file anymore. Then let's jump into the reducer and create a new file in the reducer folder called user reducer.js. So basically inside the user reducer, what we need to do is we need to create the user reducer. So let's say, let me rename this into user auth reducer. That will be reasonable. User auth reducer. Okay, so here I'm just going to say const user auth. Let me copy this name, copy, paste it. Okay, so here I'm going to call a callback function, open it, and I'm going to export this user auth by default. So export default as the user auth reducer. So inside this, I'm going to send 2 different parameters. One, the state itself, initial state is going to be null, and another one is going to be the action. So basically the action, whatever we are triggering it from the user action side, right? So I'm going to use the switch case over here, switch, and I'm going to say from the action over here, in the action we are sending the type object. So if that action dot type, is equals to this case where it is user action, if it is equals to this set user, then I need to return an object which is nothing but all the default state as it is, except the user state, and basically I'm going to update the user state from in the user actions. I'm sending this user data, so I'm supplying that data over here. So now the user state will get updated. All right, so then what I need to do is I need to create one more case just like the same way. Copy this and paste it over here. The default is going to be, copy this and change the state name, and we need to send the state, and the default user action is going to be null action, null, and all the way by default we need to send all the states together as it is. That's a default case. Okay, so now the user auth reducer is working as it's supposed to be smoothly. Then what we need to do, let's jump into the index.js. As I told you, we need to combine all the reducers together because we can't send every single reducer separately to our store. So we need to combine it, then we need to send it. So I'm just going to import from Redux. I'm going to bring the combine reducer, then import because we need to get the user auth reducer. Let's import it, or we import it automatically from here. So reducer, my reducer is equals to combine reducer. This is a function, and I'm going to supply the object of records. So user, this is the state that we are creating, and for this I'm going to send the user auth reducer, which is imported automatically. Then all I need to do is to export it default, export default my reducer. So save these changes. Now index.js is successfully done. So next thing is we need to move on to the store.js. So let's go to the store.js. So that's the place where we are creating the new store. So let's create it. So import from Redux. So I'm just going to create this object called create store. Then all we have to say const store is equals to create store, and I'm going to supply my reducer which we created from our index.js. Make sure that is imported properly. Then we need to export our store, export default store. Save these changes. Now the store is done. Then what we have to do is we need to jump to the app.js, and we need to wrap this complete stuff with the provider data. So we need to get the provider component given by our React Redux package. So let's go here, import from React Redux. It will gives you the provider component. So using this component, we need to wrap this complete stack navigator. So let's import that provider component. So this is having a prop called store property, store prop, and we need to supply our store over here, which is coming from our context store. So then I need to wrap the entire stack navigator inside in it. Save this change. So now it's refreshed and it's not showing any issue. That means the store is successfully created and it is implemented. If you're getting any error, so please drop that error in the comment section. I can help you out with that. All right. So now what I need to do, all I have to do is to sign in one more time. Let's say admin@gmail.com and admin@123. So before signing in, all we have to do is to go to the login screen. So I need to dispatch this into the user state, right? So let's go to the login screen, and let's dispatch. This is the place where we are getting that data. So I need to get the dispatch object. So const dispatch is equal to use dispatch. So basically this dispatch hook will help you to dispatch the action, whatever we created, right? So I need to trigger that action, then only you can perform something in your Redux. So I need to create an object for the use dispatch hook, then I can dispatch the actions. So here I'm just going to say dispatch set user. That's the method which we created, set user action. So to this action we need to send the data. So I'm going to send this data object, copy it, send it. So now we have this data object. All right. So what we have to do is save these changes. So if everything is working perfectly, now without any error, this action will perform. If it is not working properly, we will get an error. Let's see. Let's hope it will work fine. So far no mistakes. So let's try it over here. admin@gmail.com, admin@123. Let's check the password. If I click sign in, ID, everything is fetched. That means there is no error so far over here, right? So the user state it's completely it's pushed the data to the state, right? So we need to make sure whether the state is working fine or not. It's whether the state is working fine or not. So let's do the console log once again. So far it's not showing any error. So let's check whether it is working perfectly or not. So what is the concept over here is every time once the user successfully logged in, he closed the app again. Once when he opening the app again, he don't want to log in again. We need to validate that refresh token by ourselves. So we need to validate that token. If the token is not validated properly, we need to send the user to the login screen, or else we need to take the user to the home screen. So we can't do that directly in the app.js, because when I'm trying to do it inside the app.js, because at that point the store itself it's not even created. So whenever I'm trying to do that, it's showing an error. So to avoid that, to overcome that error, so what I did is we need to create a new screen over here. Let's say splash screen .jsx and rnfe, save it. Let's export it from our index, copy this, save it. So let's go here to app.js, and what we need to do is we need to copy and paste it, and I'm going to change this to splash screen. So I'm going to load the splash screen for very first time. So, and then I'm going to copy it and paste it one more time, and I'm going to say home screen, and that is going to be the home screen. So save these changes. So when I'm reloading it initially, not here, when I'm reloading it initially, it's going to load the splash screen. You can see the splash screen, it's loaded. So let's go here to the splash screen. So let's fix this UI, then I'll show you how to get that user data, because now we know that we signed it successfully, right? So let's go ahead and check that. So what we need to do is, so inside this splash screen, I'm going to bring this UI. So let me copy this, and I'm going to paste it over here. Not that much, just flex item center, justify center, and I'm going to bring the logo from our assets. Let's bring the logo, and let's import this image as well in the React Native package, and let's add this activity indicator in the React Native package. So if you save these changes, now we can able to see the logo and as well as the splash screen. So now it's loading. So now what I need to do is I need to get that authentication information. So before this UI it's being mounted, so what I need to do is I need to get the user layout, use layout effect hook. So this will execute before this layout completely mounted into that. I need to execute this method, right? So that's the reason we are using this hook. So here I'm just going to create a method called const check logged user. Open it, and this is going to be an asynchronous method. Enter. So over here, using this Firebase auth object, I'm going to use that on auth state changed method. I'm going to get that user credential, user cred. If we do have that user cred, so inside the if we do have that user cred dot uid, if you have that object, then we need to collect that object, then we need to navigate the user to the home screen, or else we need to navigate this user directly to the sign-in screen. So navigation, so we need to get the navigation object, const navigation equals to use navigation, open it. So all I'm going to say navigation, not navigator, navigation, TION. Okay, my bad, double N. Navigation dot navigate, or we can say replace. So we need to completely replace the screen, so the user can't go back and forth by using the gestures handler, right? So we need to navigate the user to the login screen. So if I want to go back, all I can able to use the gesture, so I can go back to the previous screen. So we are not supposed to allow the user to do that. So that's the reason we are replacing it. Let's go to the app.js and copy this login screen name and paste it over here. If we do have the user ID, all I have to do, what again, I need to get that information. So let's go here. This is the place where we are getting the doc. Okay, let me copy this get doc completely and paste it over here. And yep, I need to import this Firestore DB. I need to import this, and I need to import this, and I need to import this as well. Then I need to get the dispatch object. So const dispatch equals to use dispatch So we have all the informations. So if this successfully done, where it is, if condition is finishing over here, dot, then this is the object we are getting, exist, then so if we have this object, so here this is the place, so this is the place where we are getting the record. So right after here I'm going to get the one more promise called dot, then using that I'm going to call a callback function, and I'm going to use the set interval time, and I'm going to say that set interval as 200. I'm just navigating that user to navigation dot replace the user to the home screen. So now what's the beauty over here is, if we have the data, this will navigate the user to the home screen, or else this will navigate the user to the login screen. But right now nothing is happening, still it's keep on loading over here. Let me reload this application. This is loading. Oh, my bad. So I didn't call this function. Check log user. Save these changes over here. We are getting an error. That's fine. That is something processing. Okay. So because initially we don't have this user ID object. Save these changes. Cannot read the UID of an undefined var. We are reading it. User. Oh, okay. Here we will not get the user object. That's the mistake. So what's the reason we are getting this issue is, so here we are getting the ID directly. We are getting the ID property directly because there is no user property. So that's the reason. So if you expand it, here you can get the UID object. So that's the mistake. So now you will get that data. Look at that. We'll get the data, and it's navigated the user to the login screen. But again and again it's executing. Why? This is not supposed to happen. This is pushing the user again and again. This is supposed to happen only one time, but I don't know why it's happening again and again. Reload it. Why it is happening? This spot of statement is executing again and again. So let me copy this from here. Once after the successful dispatch, I'm going to replace the user to the different screen. So still we are getting that same actions, and again it's repeating the same stuff again and again. Don't know why it's replacing. So let's reload it. Login screen. Why this is happening? This is not supposed to happen. I don't know what's the mistake over here and what exact mistake we are making. Navigation dot replace. It's constantly repeating the same stuff. It's been repeating. I don't know why. Okay, let's fix this issue. I'm not navigating it again. Reloading. Okay, so now it's not navigating. It's because we are not pushing this user anywhere, because we dispatched it and we are not pushing it anywhere. So this is the place where we are getting that .then object. So right after here, if I get the dot property dot catch, in case if there is, let's get the .then object one more time, get the callback function, and let's using the set interval. We don't need the set interval actually. Navigation dot replace. If I do this, okay, the problem is because of set interval. My bad. The problem is because of the set interval. I need to say set timeout. We need to use the set timeout object. Set timeout. Right after 2 seconds, we need to replace. It is not set interval. My mistake. This is supposed to be set timeout method. A simple mistake maker a very big problem. So now it doesn't matter when you are refreshing it. It's load this splash screen. Then it will verify the user data. If you have the user data, that data will be dispatched, and that will navigate the user to the home screen. So let's go to the home screen and let's console log whether we do have the data or not. So use const user is equals to use selector hook. I'm going to get the state object. From the state, I'm going to get the user state. So then I'm just going to console log logged user. I'm going to append this user object, save this changes. Now you can able to see we have the logged user. Inside that we have this user object, and we do have a complete information. So if you notice here, we're having this user object also inside. See, user, inside the user object only we have the complete information. So I need to get the user.user. So if I do so, now I have the complete ID and information and everything over here. That means our Redux store is working smoothly and it's working perfectly as it's supposed to be. So now we are inside the home screen. So in the home screen, what we have to do is, so this is the home screen is supposed to looks like. So this is what we need to go ahead and create now. This is the screen that we need to create now. We need to display the logo and the user informations and all the chat rooms which we created. So let's go ahead and design that chat rooms and the home screen completely. So that's what we are going to do next. All right then. So let's go to the home screen. Let's bring this logo and this image section first. All right. So I'm going to make this class name equals to flex1. So okay, then so this is supposed to bring, let's check whether it is bringing everything in the center or not. So yep, it's bringing everything in the center, so I don't need this anymore. So it's working perfectly as it's supposed to be. So then what we have to do is, I need to bring the safe area view. So I need to keep everything inside the safe area view. So safe area view, make sure that you're importing it from the React Native. All right. So inside here, what I need to do is, I'm going to bring one more view inside in it. So that view is going to display the top section, basically this top section. So that's what we are going to bring over here. So view. So for this view, we're going to add the class name, which is width, of course, it's going to be full, and flex, everything is going to be in a row direction. An item, of course, in the center of the line, and justify, it's going to be between, and the padding in left and right is going to be 4, and the top and bottom is going to be 2. Inside here, now I need to bring this logo image. So let me copy that line and let me paste it over here. So I'm going to import the logo from the assets, and I'm going to bring the image from the React Native. So right after here, of course, we need to bring the profile view, right? So we need to bring this profile view. So I'm going to bring this touchable opacity, because whenever you tap that profile, that's will take the user to the profile view. So Here, class name is equals to, so this is going to be a fixed width and height, so that is going to be w h12 and rounded full, and border bg primary color, border primary color, and of course everything inside in it, it's going to be in the center location. So flex item center and justified center. Inside here, let me enable the word wrap so you can see it completely. So inside here, I need to bring that image. So let me copy this image one more time, and instead of this, I'm going to say width full, height full, and it is going to cover the entire screen cover. And I'm not going to use the logo here. I'm going to bring the user object. So open the one more URI, because basically inside the user data, what we have this profile picture as a URL. So we need to use the URI object. Over here, I need to get the user data. Inside the user data, of course, we do have this profile pic. Where it is? Here it is. Copy this, paste it here. All right, so we need to you need to use the conditional rendering, because if there is no user object, it will take some time to load first. So we need to wait until this. So here, this will display the data. Everything is perfectly fine. Save these changes. Now we can able to see that user profile over there. We can able to see that user profile. So that we can able to see. Now when I tap it, I can able to see. We can see that it's giving the nice opacity animations. All right, so then what we need to do, we need to bring this this option, this area, messages and everything. So let's go ahead and do that. So basically that is going to be the scroll view. So we need to enable the scrolling area over here. So let's bring the scroll view, and inside the scroll view, we need to make sure the scroll view is taking the complete width and height. So let's say width full, and px it's going to be 4, left and right 4. And from the padding top, I'm just going to move it a little bit further down. So padding top as 4. So let's bring that view now. So first what we need to do is we need to bring that messages section. So we need to bring this messages section over here. So let's go ahead and do that messages option. Wait a second. So what we can do is, let's create one more view and make this view as a complete full width. And inside here, first we are going to bring the message title section. So let's bring that view over here, and for this view I'm going to add this class name. So let me bring up that complete class details. Okay, so let me copy it and let me paste it over here like this. So inside this view, now what we need to do is we need to bring the text box. Let's display the text box, text, class text primary, text base, and padding bottom. So that will display the message box over there. So right after this text box, we need to bring the touchable opacity. So basically this is for adding a new chat room. So I need to bring that icon over here, which is nothing but the icons. Bring it, so import it, so that will display the icons. So now right now we are not doing any actions over here. Later we need to add, if I tap this, that needs to take the user to the add screen. If I tap this, that needs to take the user to the profile screen, right? This view is completed now. So right after that view, what I need to do is I need to bring the right after that view, this is the view right after here. So initially, you might notice that these are all the chat rooms which is coming lively from our Firebase. So that will take some time to load it over here. So I need to show that activity indicator. So I'm going to create let me delete this, use state snippet, and let's say is loading. If it is loading, by default, it's going to be, I think it needs to be true. Okay, by default I'll keep it as true. Okay, so here, if it is loading, then I need to display something. If not, I need to display that complete message cards and everything. So if it is loading, that means I need to display a view over here. view. Inside this view, of course, it's going to be a complete width full and flex item center, justified center. And inside here, I'm going to bring that activity indicator. So let me bring that activity indicator over here, save these changes. So now this activity indicator is not really exist. So we need to import it, and that error will gone. The splash screen is loaded, user data is logged, and now you can see that activity indicator. So this time that indicator will that will indicate act as a placeholder until you collect the complete data from your Firestore collections. Okay, so the activity indicator is working fine. For the time being, I'm just changing this state as a false. Okay, so now you will not get any indicator over there because it's rendering this particular block over there. So over here, I'm going to bring the message card. So I need to create a message card. So message card. So I'm going to create a message card as an internal component. So const message card equals to open it, and here I'm going to return a view, and inside this view I'm going to get the text hi, something like that. So that is supposed to display the hi message over here. So because it's rendered over there, so we are getting that option over here. So now here, what I need to do is, so if you notice that whenever I'm tapping this, that's need to take the user to this chat screen, right? So that's what we are going to do. So let's delete this completely and let's make it as touchable opacity, and inside this touchable opacity, we need to do all these stuff. So let's bring the styles first. So I need to copy this style and let me paste it over here. So with the full flex row, item center, justified center, and padding top and everything. Now inside here, now what I need to do is, so we need to bring, what are the things we do have? We have this image section, and we have this content section, and we have this, what is that? The text section. So totally we have 3 different sections inside it. So this is for image, and this is for content, and this is for time text over there, right? So let's bring the image sections over here. So basically for image section, I'm not creating any specific image for the chat room or anything. So I'm just going to use the icon, which is same icon for every chat rooms. So later in this project, if you are creating a separate profile picture for your chat rooms and everything, we can bring that image and we can display it over here. Just replace this with that profile picture, right? Then what I need to do, I need to bring the text section. So basically, if you check the text section over here, we have 2 different text sections over there, right? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to bring a view. All right, inside this view, we need to bring 2 different text boxes. So that's what we are going to do now. Okay, so over here, I'm going to bring that text box. So let's copy that and let me bring it over here, text box. So please pause the video and type the same styles and everything. So I'm just copy and pasting the classes to avoid the timing and everything. So then let's bring the subtext. Let me copy it and let me paste it over here. So this is the message title. I'm just going to keep it as message title for the time being. Save the changes. So now you can able to see the message title and some text over here. Then what we need to do is, right after here, we need to bring that the same text section. So let me copy that text and paste it as well. All right. So now you can able to see that text. So now what we need to do is, we need to repeat the same card over here. So copy this, paste it for several times. So you can able to see this, and the scroll view is everything is working perfectly, and the card everything is working perfectly because of this design we created. So later what we need to do, after adding the chats and everything, we need to bring that real chat over here. Okay, so that's what we need to do later. But right now what we need to do, we need to focus on this add to chat screen. So that's what we are going to do next. All right then, so when I click this, that's need to navigate the user to add to chat screen. So we don't have that add to chat screen. So let's go ahead and create that screen first. So to create that screen first, all you have to do is to create a new file and name that file as add to chat. It's not creating, why? oops, add to chat screen dot jsx. All right, so let's keep it as rnfe. So then we need to add this in the index.js file. So copy this and let's change this to add to chat screen. Copy this and paste it over here. Save these changes. So now we can export it from there. Then let's jump into the app.jsx and copy this from here, and let's add to chat screen and copy this and paste it over here. Make sure that is imported in your screen. All right, so now what we need to do is let's jump into the what is that, add to chat screen? Yeah, here we go. So we need to move into the add to chat screen option. So here now what we need to do is, so let's add this styles over here, class name equals to, let's keep it as flex1, save the changes. So now if you click this, that's need to navigate to the add to chat screen, right? So let's go to the home screen and let's find out where the place, I think this is the one. So whenever I'm clicking this on press, I need to navigate the user. So let's call a callback function and use the navigation object. So we haven't created that navigation object yet. So let's go here and create the navigation object. Const navigation equals to use navigation hook. Use that over here. Navigation dot navigate the user to add to chat screen. Let's jump to the app.js. Copy this and give it to your, let's go to the home screen and paste it over here. Save these changes. So now if you click this, that will takes the user to the add to chat screen, and let's jump into the add to chat screen. So here now inside here, now what I need to do is, so if you have a look at here, the chat screen is looking quite different. We can't use the safe area view because you can see this is taking, this green area is taking the complete screen, including the notch display also. So first let's bring that green area. So let me delete this. So I'm just going to use the view, and let's say this view class name. It's going to take the width to full, and it's going to take the bg primary, and px it's going to be 4, py it's going to be 6. So basically it's need to take the flex, not the complete one, but 0.25% of the flex box. All right, so save this. That means 0.2. So now you can see it's taking the complete top, that 20% area. All right, so then okay, so now let's go here. Now what we need to do is we need to bring these two sections, this chevron left icon and the profile screen. So let's go here and bring that now. So inside this, now what I need to do is I need to create a view which is going to be that wrapper of these two different objects over here. So this view is going to take this different sets of classes. So let's going to copy that class name and I'm going to give it over here. So flex row, item center, justify between, width full, and same thing. Now inside here we need to bring these two different sets of options. One is going to go back, and another one is going to be the you can have the middle section, and if you're having the like, what is it, that's the last section over here, the last section, that is nothing but your profile section. So for go back, I'm going to bring this option, touchable opacity, import it, and material icons, import it, and we need that navigation option. So const navigation equals to use navigation hook. So whenever if you click go back, so that will takes you to the previous screen wherever you get navigated. So if you save these changes, that will display this. If I click this, that will take me to the previous screen. If I click again, I can come back over here. And in the last section, I need to get that user object. So let's get the user state. So instead of typing, I'm going to copy it from the home screen and I'm going to paste it over here. So here I need to bring the user profile screen, right? So just exactly the same stuff what we did in the home screen to display that profile screen. So copy that and paste it over here. Just exact the same stuff. Save this. Let's import the React Native image, and that, okay, use selector now. Save these changes, reload it, and if you tap it, that will takes you to the user profile. You can able to see that user profile thing. So now we have this and user profile menu. So I need to bring this view with this exact rounded edges. So let's go ahead and create that. So right after this view, the place where your view is completed, so right after that, this, after here, I need to bring that bottom section. All right, so let's record the, sorry, let's bring the bottom section. So let's bring the bottom section over here, view, and basically this view is going to have a certain length of class, so which is going to have a width full and white layer like this, width full, bg white, px and py rounded, flex1 will push it completely, whatever the space available will take the complete space, and only the rounded edges I need at the top. So and then I'm moving it a little bit top because I need to overlap this white layer, the green layer. So save these changes. Now we can able to see that. Okay, so I think this is moving a little bit too much. Instead of margin 10, let's keep it as 1, 2. I think I need to increase the white layer then, the green layer then. All right, so let's bring it a little bit top now. Yep, now it's perfectly fine. All right, so then what we need to do is over here I need to bring that let me bring one more view over here, view, and make sure that view is completely accessing the top layer, that full width, px4, py4, and inside this I need to bring this border first. Let's bring this border. So let's bring that view, and then for that we need to add the class name as width full and px4. Then flex everything inside, it's going to be in a row direction, item center, and justify everything in between. Then py top and bottom, it's going to be 3, and rounded xl, and then border, we need to add the border, and border gray, it's going to be not orange, border gray, it's going to be 200 or 300 something. Then inside each and every object we need to have some space, so space x3. So now you can able to see that border over there. So let me enable the viewer wrap so you can able to see it completely. All right, so inside here now we need to bring 3 different things. We need to bring 3 different. One is the icon, first icon, then we need to bring the text input, then we need to bring the another icon. All right, so here what I need to do is I need to bring the icon first. So let's copy that and paste it over here. So let's import the icons and chat bubbles, size, everything is over there. Cool. Then let's bring the last icon, and that is going to be the send icon. So basically that is should be wrapped inside the send. So let's bring the touchable opacity first. Opacity. Inside this touchable opacity, let's bring that icon here, which is coming from font awesome. Save the changes. Now we can able to see the icon. Now in between this I need to bring the text input. So let's bring the text input, then let's bring the class name. We need to make that looks much better. So this should take the all the available spaces in between in it. So we need to wrap it as a flex1, text large, text primary, and the margin top I'm moving it a little bit, and then height and everything I'm fixing it. Then placeholder, I need to add the placeholder. I'm just going to say create a chat. Then what you need to do is the placeholder text color, it's going to be #999. Save the changes. So now you can able to see the create chat option over there. All right, so let's keep this as 2 so that looks much better. Yes. So then what we need to do is we need to create a state to get the value from it. So use state use state snippet. So I'm just going to keep it as let's say what we can say, add chat or something. This is the add chat text, so let's keep it in that way. Initially it's going to be an empty string, so we are going to use the value as over here. Value is going to be add chat. Okay, and then on change, whenever on change text, whenever there is a change on the text, I need to set the text to the chat. Set add chat, and let's set the text property. So the text property is coming from this parameter. Save changes. Now we have the add chat option. Now when I tap this, what we need to do, we need to create a new chat. When I tap this, we need to create a new chat. So for this, I'm going to add an on press event. On press, I'm going to say create new chat. Copy this. Let's go here. Const create new chat, and that is going to be an asynchronous function, and that is going to be an arrow function. So inside here, what we need to do is we need to create a chat room. So let's say I need to create a unique ID for it. So let ID equals to conditional the string literals, then use the dollar and placeholder over here, then date dot now. Using this, we can able to get the time frame timestamp in milliseconds, okay, as a number. So that will be a unique number for every time whenever you're creating a new ID. So then const underscore doc, we are creating a document to create it, open it. So for the ID field, I'm manually supplying the same ID which I created. Then I need to supply the user detail because we need to know which user created this information. So let's send the complete user information. Then the chat name. Let's send the chat name as add chat option. So now the doc is created. So this needs to be created only if we have some details. So if add chat is not equals to empty string, if it is not equals to empty string, then only we need to get that information. Otherwise we are not supposed to create a new chat room, right? So we are writing the condition. So then I'm going to use the set doc method. Make sure that is imported from the Firestore. Then we need to add the doc reference. Make sure that's also imported. Then we need to get the Firestore database, Firestore DB object which we created. Then the collection name is going to be chat or chats. Then I'm going to supply the ID which we created. Then I need to supply the document underscore doc which we created. Then I'm going to get the promise. So if everything is saved successfully, I'm going to say set add chat as an empty string. Then I'm going to navigate that user navigation dot replace the user to the home screen. Make sure that is exactly the same thing. Copy it. We don't need this flash. We don't need the login anymore. Not needed. Not needed. Not needed. Not needed. Not needed. Support. Not needed. Not needed. Let me close everything, all the unwanted stuffs. All right. So all right, so now this will push the user in case if there is any error. So we need to catch that error also. So dot catch. Let's get the error object. For the time being, we just if you want to console log it, or if you want to give an alert message as an alert box, let's throw an alert and let's show as an error object, and we can get that error object over there. Okay, I hope everything will work fine. So let's check it out whether everything is working fine or not. So if I create this, let's say wow, YouTube chat room or something. All right, so now if I hit send option, that should navigate the user to the home screen because it's created successfully. And if I go and check our cloud store, refresh it, so I think here we go. We have the chats and we have the user information, and we have inside the user informations, we have the provider data and everything, and what is the chat name and who created it. We have the complete informations which is we wanted it, right? So now what we need to do is, all we have to do is to change this information. So these are the dummy informations. I need to bring this information from the cloud store directly. So that what we need to do next. So let's go to our home screen. So here I'm going to create a new state, like use state, and I'm going to keep it as the like chats, set chats. Initially it's going to be null. Okay, so here I'm going to use the use layout effect hook. It has two different parameters. One is the callback function and another one is the dependency injections over there. So let's inside here. So what I'm going to do is, by default, I'm just going to change the state to true now, because it's need to be loading by the time when it's coming inside. And here now, by default, the state is loaded now. So I need to get a query first. I need to write a query to get the data from the chats. So const chat query, const chat query is equals to using the query object from the Firestore. So we are going to import that Firestore query. So inside here, I need to supply the Firestore DB information, Firestore DB. Then I need to give the collection name, what exact collection name that you are trying to look for. So chats. So chats. Now we have the chats and everything. So I need to what is that? So basically this is supposed to be inside the collections object. Yes, because the query needs the collection data, right? So we need to keep it inside the collection object. Inside the collection object we need to keep it. Then I need to use the order by, and inside the order by I need to order the record based on the ID in descending order. Right? So let's apply that information inside. So like we need to order the record based on the ID field, right? So inside the chat room, what is the ID we do have? We have this ID field. So I need to copy this field and I'm going to arrange it in the descending order. So because the latest newly created room needs to be in the top of the deck, right? So descending order, DESC. All right. So now we created the query. This is the query. So make sure everything is imported. If you save the changes, nothing will happen, still the same. Now what I need to do is, I'm just going to say const unsubscribe. I'm going to create a method, const unsubscribe is equals to on snapshot change, on snapshot. Basically this on snapshot is like an event listener on the Firestore collections. Whenever there a new data is added or new data it's been or an existing data will be deleted, or if it gets modified, this will be triggered automatically. So this on snapshot will be triggered automatically, and our data will also be really synchronized with our data store. So that's the reason we are using it. So I need to supply the chat query over here. Then I need to get a callback function. Okay, inside this callback function, I'm going to get the query snapshot a parameter. Using this query snapshot only, I can able to get all the documents. So I'm going to get the messages like or the chat rooms. So const chat rooms is equals to, using the query snapshot, I'm going to get the docs, complete docs dot, using the map function. I'm going to get one by one doc from it, doc dot data. So this will be returned and it will be stored inside this chat rooms. Then we can update that to our chats. So set chats is going to be chat rooms. Then we need to make that set is loading as false, and then this needs to be returned. So this needs to be this needs to call this, we need to call this unsubscribe only when the time when you are returning this. We need to return that unsubscribe over here. So the reason why we are returning that unsubscribe, it's because return the unsubscribe to unsubscribe function. Basically it's a function to stop listening to the updates. All right, so let's save this changes. Before saving the changes, so I'm going to use that map function let's use that map function. So what we need to do is let's use the map function. Give me a second, 1 second. So this needs to be rendered based on the chat rooms what we have. So I'm going to get the chats. If the chats dot length chats and chats dot length greater than 0. All right, so if the length is greater than 0, then so we need to use the conditional rendering over here. So if the length is greater than 0, then I need to render something, right? So I'm going to open it, or else we need to open this components. So inside here, I'm going to bring this React fragments, and inside here also I'm going to bring the React fragments. All right, so okay, so over here, if the length is greater than 0, that means we do have something to display over there. So enter, and here I'm just going to open it again, and I'm going to say chats.map function. So use the conditional rendering, open the map, then we need to get the 1x1 chat room from here. Then open the normal brackets, then bring the message card over here, supply the key room dot underscore id, then we need to supply the room directly. So I need to get that room prop over here, room. Then instead of the match chat title, I'm just going to bring the room dot chat name. What is that? Chat name, or what is it? Yeah, chat name. Copy it, give it over here. So save these changes if there is no mistakes. Now here we go. We have our YouTube chat room which we created. So let me go ahead and create a new chat room, and let me say like Vetri chat room or something. If I click enter or hit that, look at that. Instantly you will get that chat update. That's happening because of this on snapshot, because whenever the new chat room is being updated, it will be instantly appeared over here. All right, so now we have that new chat room options. So now all we have to do is to, whenever I tap this option, if I tap this, I need to take that user to the chat screen. So let's go ahead and create a new chat screen over here now. Okay, then so let's go ahead and create a new chat screen. So let's create a new screen over here, and let's name that chat as chat screen. New file. New file. Chat screen .jsx. Then rnfe. Go to the index.js. Copy it. Chat screen. Copy it. Paste it over here. Chat screen. All right. So let's jump to the home screen, and we need to navigate the user to that particular screen, right? So along with that, we need to share the room informations also. So what I need to do is, for this on press, I'm going to call a callback function, and we need the navigation object. So let's get that navigation object inside this component, use navigation, and here I'm going to use the navigation object dot navigate the user to the chat screen. Let's go to the app.jsx, and let's bring the chat screen over here. Chat screen, copy it, paste it, save it, and supply it here. Along with this, I'm going to send an object which is nothing but the room information itself. So room room. All right, so this is the parameter that we are passing it through the route. So we need to get the route object in the chat screen, and we can get the room information over there. So save this, and now if I tap this, that will takes me to the chat screen, and over the chat screen I need to get that chat informations, right? So let's go ahead and do that chat informations, get that chat informations. So to get that chat room information, first I need to get the route object. From the route only we can get the params. So const route const object equals to route dot params. So from the params object, we can able to collect that this room object. So I can get that room object over here. Save the changes and console.log. Let's get that room information. Room. So that should print the room information over here. See, we have the room information, complete room information. What is the chat room name and what is the ID and who created it. We have the complete informations over there. So now what we need to do is, with the help of that, we need to create this top navigation first. All right. So let's go ahead and create the top navigation first, and we can join back from there. So what I'm going to do is basically, which is exactly same as the add to chat screen. So I'm just going to copy it from here completely. And let's jump over here, paste it. And then this bottom section, inside this bottom section, and one second, inside this bottom section, I think I don't need this stuff. Yes, let's keep the bottom section, but I don't need that stuff. And we need the user object because currently we are using the user detail, so I don't need to display the user detail over here. Let's delete it. And let's bring the touchable opacity, import it, material icons, import it. And we need to get the navigation object as well. Copy this and paste it over here. And I don't need this room information anymore. Import the use navigation. Pretty much done. Save the changes. You should be able to see this over here. Cool. All right. So now what we need to do is, let me change this to 2. I think that's overall enough because I don't need that much. All right. So over here, all we have to do is to get the exact same thing over here. We need to get that that icon, and we need to get that name, and we need to display all these options over here. So this is the top section, and this is the last section what we are discussing. I think so. Yes. Yep. So let's get that now. Now I need to bring the one second. Inside the view, this is the view, right? Yes. So we have the go back option. Now the last section is going to be for that icon, and in the middle section we need to bring that name and everything. So let's bring that name. So I'm just going to copy and paste that view. So flex row, item center, justify center, space X. Inside here I need to bring the group icon first. So let's bring the group icon, which is coming from the font awesome, like this. You can get the font awesome icon. And inside here I need to get the text messages. So let's get the text messages. Let's bring a view, and inside the first let's bring a view over here inside the view, and I need to get the text property. This is for title, and the last one, that's for another one, that is for nothing, to display the text as online, something like that. All right. So inside here I need to get the chat room, right? From the room I know that I do have the property called chat name. Where it is? Room. Here it is, chat name. We have the property called chat name. So I need to make sure this length, if the length is len, length is greater than 15. If the length is greater than 15 or 16, okay, then I need to slice it. So using the string literals, I'm going to slice it. So if the chat room dot length is greater than that, then slice it. Slice using the slice method. I'm going to slice it from 0 to 16th character. After that, I need to add 2 dots, or else I'm just going to keep it room.chatName as it is. Save the changes. Now you should be able to see the chat room. So you can see it's great. It's a very big text. So it's automatically having that 2 dots over there, right? If I go back and if I click this one, you can able to see the chat room perfectly, right? Now I need to change the colors and everything. So let me copy this styles and let me use it over here. And then let's copy the same styles for the online as well. Copy it and let's give it over here. Save the changes. Now you should be able to see this. And in the right side, I need to bring the 3 sets of icons. One is for video and another one is for this call, and another one is for this, the 3 dots, for the more options. Inside the last section division, which we deleted, the profile section, over there, I need to bring all these icons over there. Font awesome and encrypto icon, everything one by one with a touchable opacity on it. So you can able to see all the 3 icons over there, just like that. Now the top section is done. Now we need to jump into the message section. All right. So before jumping into the message section, let's go ahead and bring this particular area. Let's bring that typing box area. All right. So let's go ahead and do that. Now let's jump into the bottom section. That's the place where I need to work on inside this bottom section. Okay, so basically what's the thing over here is, so if you might notice the intro video, so when I click this, the keyboard will pop up. So the entire UI needs to adjust it according to it, right? So to do that, I need to use this keyboard avoiding a view. We need to use this keyboard avoiding view. Open it, enter. Okay, so for this keyboard avoiding view, I'm just going to say class name as a flex 1. All right, then we need to check the behavior, because this behavior of this, it's quite different when it comes to the iOS and for the Android. So I need to check the platform. So I'm going to use the platform object from the React Native. If the platform of .os is equals to, if it is equals to iOS, then we need to use the padding will have takes place, otherwise height. All right, if that platform OS is equals to iOS, we need to use the padding property, or I need to use the height property. So I'm just going to say keyboard offset. So keyboard, how far I need to move the keyboard from vertically. So I'm just going to use the 160, like in pixels, right? So save the changes. Currently it doesn't show anything. It's keep the same thing. No changes on it. Inside here, I'm going to bring the React fragments, and I'm going to bring the scroll view, because this is the place where we are going to able to scroll these messages and everything, and I can able to see these options also, right? So now inside the scroll view, I need to show I need to make sure whether, because before pulling the messages from the chat room, we need to show that loading indicator over here. So I'm just going to create a use state snippet is loading, and by initially it is going to be true. I'm just going to keep it as true, because I'll show you once we fix this, then we'll get that chat messages and everything. Open this, is loading. If it is loading, then I need to display this block of codes, or else I need to display this block of codes. If it is loading, I'm just going to bring the activity indicator. So let me bring that activity indicator as just like as usual. Save the changes, and activity indicator is not included. Save it. So now let's click this. You can see we can able to see that activity indicator over there. So let's change this to, for the time being, as a false, because we know that it's working now. Let's change it. Later I'll keep it true, and then I will update that when I'm trying to fetch the chat informations and everything. All right, so now inside here I need to bring that messages and everything. One second. What we need to do is messages. So we can say this is the place where we are going to display the messages. Yes. So right after this scroll view, this is the place where we need to bring that keyboard section, right? So let's go ahead and bring that keyboard section so that we can able to add the new messages and all those things. So here I'm going to create a view. Inside this view, I'm going to bring that class name. So I'm just going to copy that class name, and I'm going to use it over here. Sorry. And then over here, we need to create a view. So if you have a look at it, so basically this is entire one view which we created right now, and inside this section, this is one view and we have one icon. So let's go ahead and create that one. So here, so I'm just going to say view, and class name, it's going to be basically BG gray 200 and rounded 2XL, and PX padding left and right, and inside each and every object in x-axis, space between them, padding top and bottom, and flex row and an item, everything should be in the center, and justify it's going to be between. All right, so we can keep it as between or center, anything, that's up to you. All right, and I need to bring this smiley icon over there. So to that, I'm going to bring that icon over here, that emoji happy icon. So let's bring that, and so far let's delete this. Later we'll add that property and bring it. So if I save these changes, so you should be able to see that emoji icon over there. So then what I need to do is I need to bring a text input. So to bring that text input, I'm going to create a new use state, because we need to store that input whatever the user typed over there. So use state, and that is going to be the message state, and initially it's going to be an empty string. Then over here I'm going to bring that text input. So text input, inside this text input, so let's bring that class property first. So basically this needs to take the complete width, whatever the space it's available. Then placeholder, so placeholder is going to be type here, typ type here. Then placeholder text color, it's going to be #999. Then value, it's going to be the message. Then on change text, I'm going to get the text and I'm going to set the message with that text. Then save the changes. Right now you should be able to see the text box over there. Cool. Then what we need to do, we need to bring that microphone icon over there. So to bring that, I'm just going to bring this icon over here. Save these changes. So you should be able to see that icon over there. Then after that view, we need to bring that send option also. Okay, so this view, I need to bring that send option also. Let me delete this, we'll add it later. So let's import the font awesome as well. So we have this send option right now. So you can able to see here, if I open the keyboard right now, we can see the entire UI is pulling up. That's because of this keyboard avoiding view. So basically we created a keyboard avoiding view with a certain height. This 160, it's the measured like it's like trial and error. You should adjust until you can able to see the keyboard in a perfect view. So maximum it will be above 140, 150 or 160 only. So in this case I'm using 160. All right, so I can able to see that over here. So it's working perfectly now. Now all I have to do is to, when I click this same thing, I need to bring that keyboard. All right, so to do that, so what I'm going to do is I need to use a use reference hook to create a reference. So what I'm going to do is over here, and I'm going to say const text input reference equal to use ref hook. Okay, so I'm going to use the use ref hook, and I'm going to send the value as null initially. And whenever I'm clicking this encrypto, this emoji icon, so I'm just going to say on press, I'm going to say handle keyboard open or something, keyboard open. So let me copy this, and at the top let's create that function const. So basically in a real time, if you see that, if you tap this, you can able to see the emoji keyboard, right? You can able to see these emojis. But over here in the React Expo, I tried a lot, but I couldn't find out what's the exact mistake over there. It's opening the keyboard, but it's not opening the emojis. It's not showing the options when it comes to Expo. Let me show you what exactly it's showing over here. So even I tried with ChatGPT and all the possibilities, it's not opening up. I don't know why. So if the text input ref dot current, then text input dot ref dot current dot focus. So I'm making that keyboard as a focus. So whenever if the user clicks this, that will opens the keyboard. Okay, so in a real application, that will opens the keyboard instantly. So right now I just disabled it in my simulator. So if I press the keyboard combination called Command K, then only it will opens that. Otherwise it will not opens it. All right. So now if I click this, it will open that. And if I click that, it will be disabled. All right. So this is what happening every time. So, but the problem is it's not directly opening the emoji keyboard. If I click this, it will opening the number pad. If I tried the every possible options, but it's not working for the emoji keywords. Even I tried with the chat GPT, it's not giving me the solution. I'm trying to find out the solution for it. Maybe if once I find that issue, I will update that information over here. All right. So right now, so far everything is good. So now when I click this, when we click this, we need to send the message, right? Let's go ahead and do that now. Let's go ahead and do that messages option. Wait a minute. So where is the send message button? Over here. This is the send message button. For this, on press, I'm just going to call the send message button. Copy this. So far we don't have this message button. So const send message equals to a callback function, and of course it's going to be an asynchronous function, async. All right, so now we need to send a message. So to send a message, let's go here. So I need to get a timestamp on what exact time that message it's been served or message it's been sent. So we need to use the server timestamp. So let's use the server timestamp from the Firebase Firestore. Let's get that function that will gives you the server timestamp. And const id, so I need to give a unique id, so I'm going to use the date now function, date.now method, to get that current time string. Then const underscore doc, I'm going to create a doc, open the object. So underscore id object is going to be the id prop which we created. Then a room id, of course we can get the room id from the room object, room dot underscore id, because you can able to see that we have that room underscore id somewhere over here. This is the room which we printed. Here it is, room id, right? So then we need to get the timestamp. We'll send the same timestamp object. Then we need to send the message, which message and which user send that message. So we need to get that user object. So let's get the user object as well. So const user equals to select, or let's go to the home screen, the place where we have the user object, get it and paste it over here. All right, so let's apply the user object over here. So basically this messages, so if you go here, we have this chats over here. So inside this chats, I need to update that particular chat as a sub collection. So we are going to add it as a sub collection. All right, so here I'm just going to send the set messages as an empty array, so that we can able to change this state as an empty. Then I'm going to call await. I'm going to add the doc method, add doc, open it, and I'm going to call the collection, and I'm going to send the doc information for the collection, because basically it's going to be a sub collection, right? So for the collections, inside the collection, I'm sending the document reference from the Firestore DB, and I'm going to send the chats. I'm going to access the chats collection. Inside the chats collection, I'm going to create one more unique ID room. Using that room ID, I'm going to create a new collection called messages. I'm going to access that specific room, and inside that specific room, I'm going to create the new collections, and to that new collection, I'm going to send this data doc. All right. So if everything is perfectly dot, then if everything is fine, then I'm going to open the object. I'm not going to do anything, and if there is any error, dot catch. If there is any error is happening, then all I'm just going to throw that error. What exact error is that? So save these changes. All right, so for use selector is not there. Of course, it is not there because I haven't imported it. So use selector is not there. Save the changes. All right, save it. So let's go to this Vetri chat room. So over here, I'm going to say what's it? Hi there. If I click send, right now there is no mistakes, no errors. It's the entire set message is be done. And if I go here, let's refresh this. Let me find the Vetri chat room. This is not this one, this one. And inside that one, you can able to see that messages sub collections. Inside that messages, you can able to see that room ID. And if you click that room ID, you can able to see that message which I sent and who sent that message. All right, so the send message is working fine. Now all we have to do is to get that message and we have to display that message. So let's go ahead and do that now. So to do that, I'm going to use the use layout effect, open it, an arrow function. Then I'm going to use the array dependency injection. So inside here, I'm going to create a message query, const message query, just like the same way how we get that room information. I'm going to get that messages informations. So using the query prop from the Firestore, and I'm going to call the collection object, open it. Let's break this because this is going to be a very big one. So inside the collections, I need to send the Firestore DB. Then we need to send the collection name, which is the root collection, the chat. Inside that, we need to get that specific room ID because that current information we have in the room parameter, room ID. Using that, I'm going to access the messages collections inside in it. Messages. Just call this exact same thing and use it over here. So now we have the access to the collection, and I need to order by the timestamp property which we created. I need to order by the timestamp, and I'm going to arrange it in the ascending order. All right. So over here, now we need to call this as a function. We need to execute this as a function. So unsubscribe, and subscribe is equals to on snapshot. On snapshot, I'm going to execute this message query, msg query. Then I'm going to get the query snap. I'm going to get the query snap object in the callback function. Then I'm going to set the const message updated message, up message, updated message. So query snap object. I'm going to get the docs. I'm going to use the map function. From the map function, I'm going to get the single document, and I'm going to get the data of the document, doc.data. It will be returned over here. Then I need to send this to the messages object, and I'm going to say that up message, and I'm going to set the set loading as false. So initially the set loading method is going to be true, so I will make that false over here. Then all we have to do is to return that unsubscribe. Save the changes. We are getting invalid prop value where we are getting that message. Oh, my bad. This is not supposed to set message. This is supposed to set messages. So to get that messages, I need to create a property, use state. I thought I created that array. So messages. Initially, it's going to be null, or we can keep it as an empty array. So that's fine. So this is not going to be set message. This is going to be set messages. So save these changes. Now that issues, everything will be fine. So now you can able to see that the messages is updated to the states. Now, according to that, I need to render the chats over here. This is the place where we need to render the chats. So let's do the chats over here. So now we have the states, messages states. So let's go here, messages dot question mark dot map function, map, open it. We'll get the message and the index. open the normal brackets, index. Okay, so here the twist will come, because if you look at here, the sender looks in a different color and the receiver looks in a different color, right? The sender needs to be in a different color and the receiver needs to be in a different format. So we need to figure it out, who is the sender and who is the receiver. So we can figure it out by using the provided email. So if you have a look in your message data, we have the user object. Inside the user object, we have the provided data. Inside the provided data, we have the email. If this email is matches to the logged in user email, that means he is the sender. If it is not, he is the receiver. All right, using that concept only, we are going to do that. So here I'm just going to say message, if the message dot user object, because inside the message only we have this user object. Inside the user object we have that provided data. So I think I do have it over here, provided data. Copy this, provided data. Inside the provided data we have this email prop, right? Where it is, we have that email prop. Copy that email prop, and if that email prop is equals to the user object, which we get it from the state, this one, that's the authenticated user. If that user has this email which is exactly equals to that email, that means then he is the sender. If it's that, so then I need to display this block of quotes, or else I need to display this block of quotes. All right, so let's bring it here. Inside here I'm going to create a view, and over here also I'm going to create a view. So let's fix the sender first. So class name, it's going to be, so I'm going to add the margin both in all the corner M1, and inside here I'm going to bring a view. So basically it's need to use a key prop. This is going to render again and again, so key is going to use that index. For this also I'm going to use the key as index. All right, so inside this view we need to use the style, we need to use the class name. So let's say class name. So I'm going to copy this class name completely, classes completely, and I'm going to paste it over here. So let me enable the word wrap. All right, so inside here I need to bring that text box where I can able to display that message. Let's bring that text box. Inside the message we have the message property. So let's save this changes. Now you should be able to see that message over here, right? I can able to see that message. So all right, so let me delete this React fragments, which is not necessary anymore. All right, so now I can able to see that message. So the same thing, I can delete this React fragments from here also. I don't need that anymore. So what I need to do is basically the sender messages, everything needs to be appended in the right side corner. So using the style prop, I'm going to say align self, keep it always in the flex end. So that will keep this message always in the flex end. All right, so now let's make sure whether everything is working fine or not. How are you? So now if I send this, that will immediately appended over there because of the on snapshot change, right? So it's working perfectly as it's supposed to be. So for the receiver we need to do the same stuff. So let's copy the same thing. For the receiver also we need to do the same stuff. One second. So what we need to do is, right after this view, we need to bring that timestamp, right? We need to bring and display that timestamp on what exact time that message it's being sent. So I'm going to create a view, one more view over here, and that is also always going to be aligned at the end only, because the timestamp needs to be always displayed for the sender. Always it's need to be displayed in the right side corner. For the receiver it should be in the front corner. All right, so that's what we need to do here. So I'm going to keep it over there. So inside the message, if I have that timestamp property, Then I'm going to get that seconds, because if you have a look at your timestamp, see timestamp, this is the timestamp. So from the timestamp, I'm going to get the seconds and I'm going to render it. I'm going to get the text property. Here, I'm going to convert this. So to basically to convert the seconds into your the time frame. So what I need to do is I need to use the date. So new date, I'm going to use the date object. Then I need to convert it into an integer, parse int, open it. Then I need to supply this exact seconds into it. Copy this. I need to supply this seconds into it. Then I need to multiply the seconds with this 1000 to convert it into a minutes. All right. Then I need to convert this date into two local date string, two local date string. Two local time string. We need to convert this into two local time string. All right. So now we have the time string. Then I'm going to convert it into en us. You need to give the time frame. Then open the object over here, and here you need to type the hour. Hour, it's going to be numeric. Then minutes, minute, it's going to be numeric. Then 12 hours, hour 12, it's going to be true. 12 hours format, not 24-hour format, 12-hour format. So if you save these changes, so that will display the time over here, 2:24 p.m., 2:33 p.m., something like that. So it's looking cool, right? So then I just need to update the styles for it. So I'm just going to copy the class name and I'm going to paste it over here. So that looks way much better. So now we need to make sure whether everything is working fine for the receiver also. So we need to bring that receiver also. So for the receiver, we have to change the UI and everything. So let's go ahead and do that now. All right, so let's go ahead and do the receiver side now. So for this key, this receiver is always needs to align in the flex starting position. So let's change these styles into a flex. Instead of flex end, I'm just going to keep it in the flex starting direction. And then I'm going to bring the class name. So I'm going to copy this. So if you notice this, because the receiver end is quite different, not exact same as the sender end, because we need to bring the image of the receiver and we need to display it. So let's go ahead and change the UI of it. So first I need to bring the view inside init. Inside this view, I'm going to bring the class. Let me copy that class names and everything and I put it into over here. So first I need to bring the image, then I need to bring the text, right? So let's bring the image over here. So I'm going to copy this image prop and I'm going to paste it over here, because inside the URI I'm going to send the message, user and profile, because inside the message property we have the user, we have the profile pic. So right after that, over here I need to bring the text message, which is going to be exactly the same thing over here. So I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to paste it. So I don't need this key prop, and key prop it's and we don't need this to be aligned in the flex end because this is not necessary. Let's delete it. Let's display the text message, and instead of flex end for this time, I need to keep it in the starting position. All right, save these changes. Currently you will not see because we don't have any receivers yet. So I'm just going to create one more simulator. Let me open one more simulator over here. File, open simulator, create a new simulator. Let me bring it on this side, because in this case now what we need to do is we need to log in as a different user. So we need to create a new user and we need to log in as a different user. Then we need to sign up and we need to add any message over there, so that we can see that message instantly over there. So that's what we are going to do now. So still my simulator is loading. Let's wait until it's successfully loaded. Okay, so now it's loaded. So I'm going to bring that Expo app. Let me open it. It's opening. It's taking more than usual. Please wait. So it's loading now. It's loading the Expo. Of course, the initial boot up will always be a little bit slow. So now this is the app which recently opened. So let's try that. Open it. So it's opening that project. And in my console also, it's rebuilding. Yep. So it's taking me to the sign in. And over here, I'm going to create a new user. So over here, let's choose a different profile. And let me bring this. Let's give the new name for it. Let's give a new name as Ravi Vetri. So Ravi at gmail.com. Ravi at 123. Let's sign up. So this should create that user and navigate it to the home screen. Here we go. We have that chat room. Let's open it. And we are getting an error. So image prop does not exist. So we are getting the image prop does not exist because this is not imported. That's the reason. Save these changes. And now that error should not exist. So let's open it. Here we go. Look at that. This is the receiver end. This is how it looks in the receiver end. So let me type something over here. So let's say, hi buddy. Oh, come on. Hi buddy. Let's open this emojis and let's give some emojis. Okay, let's hit the send. Here we go. Look at that. So now we have the live synchronizations of our chat messages. So we successfully finished that chat option over here. So here, let's say, how are you doing? Oh, I need to type that over here. How you doing? So let's send that now. You can get that time frame, and here also you can get that time of the exact same message when did he received, because this is the profile of the user who I sent, and here you can see the profile of the message from here. This is the user message. So let me send a reply for this. Not bad, doing awesome, doing great, or something. Doing great. Let's send this message, send it, and now you can see not bad, doing great. See, we have the real chat message app in our hand. All right, so let's go here and let's check it out. See, these are the messages that we do have over here. All these sub collections are over here. All right, so that's really cool. Now all we have to do is to go and fix this profile screen. So that's what we are going to do next. All right, so I closed my one more simulator because I don't want to overheat my laptop. So I just close that simulator. We make sure that our chat messages, everything is working fine, and as it's really good. All right. So the only one thing that we need to change here is because the sender and receiver color is also exactly the same, because I copied it. So from there, and what I need to do is I'm just going to change this color as gray 200. See, this is the reason. So save it. This is changed. So the text color, it's supposed to be in the black color. Black color. So now that's looking really good, right? Fine. So now let's go ahead and fix the profile screen. All right, so let's open up the profile screen. So to bring the profile screen, we have to create a new profile screen. Let's go here and create a new screen over here, like name it as profile screen.jsx. Once we finish that profile screen, then that's it. We are done with this project. RNFE. So save these changes. All right, so let's jump to the app.jsx. So my laptop is hanging a little bit. Oh god. where it is. So I need to go to the index.js first. So wait a second, let me stop the simulator and let me reopen it one more time, because I think two simulators are running at behind, so that's the reason it's hanging a little bit. So let me stop this, stop it. All right, so now it's stopped, and let me open it. So that will opens the simulator. So it's opening the simulator, let it open. So let's go to the app.jsx and let's copy it from here and paste it, and let's give it as profile screen. Copy it and paste it over here. Okay, so now we added the profile screen in our app.jsx. So my simulator is also ready. So let me start the application one more time. So yarn start. All right. So we're having some warnings over here. At the end, we need to update all these packages. That's the warning. Okay, so let me open the simulator now. So here, type open iOS. So that is opening the iOS Expo app over here. So it is opening up. So the initial boot will take some time. So let's go to the profile screen. Let's save these changes and let's jump into the profile screen. So we need to customize the profile screen, right? So let's do the customizations for the profile screen. So let's have a look for the profile screen first. So it's not that much tough. It's easy. We can finish it much faster. All right, we got that ID and we have that. So now when you tap this, we need to navigate this user to the profile screen. So let's go to the home screen first, and we have this profile over here. On press, I'm going to call this navigation option, navigation dot navigate the user to the profile screen. Let's go to the copy it and let's paste it over here, so that if you tap this, so that will takes you to the profile screen. Now look at that, now we are in the profile screen. So let's come over to the profile screen. So first I'm going to bring the safe area view. So I'm just going to bring the safe area view over here. So then let me close this, the safe area view, and I need to import this safe area view from the React Native package like that. So first I need to bring the icons. So I'm going to bring the top icons over here, these two icons. So basically that is going to be in a single view. We need to bring the two different icons. So let me import that touchable opacity. Then I need to get the navigation object, const navigation equals to use navigation object. All right, and I need to import the material icons as well, and as well as I need to import this encrypto icon also. Save the changes. Now I can able to see those two different icons. All right, so now I need to get the user object as well, because we need to display the user data only. So let's get the user data over here, paste it, and I need to import these two user data. All right, so now we have the user data. So next I need to bring this profile information. This is the profile section. So let's go ahead and bring that profile section. So profile. So first we need to bring the image and everything. So for that, let's create a view. So basically this view is going to be item center and justify center. All right, inside here I need to bring that image and as well as the email and everything. So let me copy and paste it over here, just like same as usual what we did for the image in the other screens. I copied it from there, and the text for the displaying the user full name and the email address. Save the changes. So you should able to see that if you fix this error. So import the image. So now if I tap this, you can able to see that. And actually the problem is full name, spelling mistake. All right, so now I can able to see that over there. Cool. So then what we need to do is, right after this profile section, we need to bring the icons section. So these icon sections, we need to bring these icon sections. So for that is going to be initially, that is going to be one complete view. So let's bring that. And inside this, I need to bring that 4 different icon sets, just like the same way. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to create a view first, class name, and that is going to be item center and justify center. And inside that, I'm going to bring that touchable opacity icon and as well as the message of it. So bring it, material icons, bring the touchable opacity, save these changes. Now we can able to see that icon over here. So now, just like the same way, I'm just going to copy this entire section and I'm going to paste it for 3 more times. Save it. Now I can able to see all these things. Then I'm just going to change the icons. The second one is going to be the video call. So this is the second one. I'm going to bring the video call icon from the icons, import it, and this is going to be video call. Save the changes. Now you can able to see the video call. And the third one is going to be call option, and that is also going to come from the icons. And that is going to be the call option. And the fourth one is going to be the more option, which is a vertical dot, and this is coming from n typo, and that is going to be more option. Save the changes. Now we have that 4 different icons over there. All right, so right after this view, we need to bring that the media's shared option. This is the media's shared. Later, once you added the dynamic sections, you can bring that dynamic sections over here. All right, so I'm just going to make this view class name is going to be width, of course it's going to be full, px is going to be 6, and space y it's going to be 3, enter. And then inside here I need to bring the medias. This is the entire section, so inside here we need to bring this media section now. So let's create one more view, and this is going to be class name, width full, flex row, direction, item center and justified center. And here I need to bring those 2 text over here, just like that. You can see problem is it's not taking full width. Why? It's not taking the full width, e.g. red or something. It's taking the full width. Item between, not center. That's the problem. All right, okay, so now it's fine. So then right after here, now we need to bring that images and everything. So basically all those images I bring it from directly from the server online. Right now I'm not using any backend functionalities for those things. So maybe in future for your upgrade you can able to do those items shared and everything. We'll try to do it on the next video, in the video 2.0, including all those image sharing options and everything. All right, so I'm just going to bring all those images one after another over here. So let me bring the image 1. So you guys please pause the video, and you can able to copy this code or copy this code directly from the description below, and you can paste it over there. So that will brings the image over here. This is the image number 1. Then I need to bring the image number 2. Again the same thing, just like that. Then again one more thing. Inside here I'm having one more view to display like the images over there, like this, just like that. So now we have that images over there. So right after this, now what we need to do is I need to bring those settings options. So these settings are going to be like, I'm going to open a view. For this view, I'm going to add a class name. So if you have a look at that view, we can wireframe it like this is the entire view, and inside this we're having this as a view and this as a separate icon, right? So inside here, let's create one more view over there, view, and inside this view, let's change this as a flex row, item center. Then here I need to bring that material icon and the text for the privacy. So material icon and the text for the privacy. Then right after this view is ending over here, I need to bring that chevron icon. All right, so let's save these changes. Now we can able to see the privacy over here, just like that. So this is that view. So I'm just going to copy this and paste it for how many times, like groups, medias and downloads, accounts, groups, medias and downloads, accounts. So this is going to be the groups, this is going to be medias and downloads, and this is going to be the accounts. And icons, everything is going to be different. I'm going to replace the icons. Then for the medias and downloads, and then for the accounts, save the changes. Now you should be able to see all these accounts and everything. And at last, finally, I need to bring the one touchable opacity, because that is for logout option. So here, inside here, I need to bring the text, and I'm just going to say logout. So this touchable opacity is going to have a certain class names, and then for the text style in it, I'm going to add some styles for it, just like that. And on press, I'm just going to call the logout option logout, or we can simply say handle logout. Copy this, scroll to the top and create const handle logout is equals to. Okay, so then what we need to do is we need to keep this method as an async method. Inside here, I'm just going to say await Firebase auth dot sign out, open it, dot then we'll call a callback function. I need to dispatch it, so const dispatch, because we need to remove the user from the store as well. So const dispatch is equal to use dispatch hook, use dispatch. Then here I'm just going to use the dispatch method to dispatch as set underscore null user object as a null. And finally, I'm just going to say navigation dot replace it with login screen. Save the changes. So now if I tap this, that user will be logged out and it will be replaced. Again, I need to log in over here. So all I have to say is admin@gmail.com, admin@123, sign in. That will takes you to the home screen. Here we go. So here, if I tap this, that will takes me to the chat screen, and I can able to create a new chat. Hey there, enter. So that will send that chat message over there. So finally we finished our project. So I hope you excited and you enjoyed this session throughout this complete video session. And if you have any questions or any doubts, anything, just drop me the questions in the comment box. I will so happy to help you there. All right, I'll see you on in the next upcoming projects.